Both programs, Danny, looking for their first win of the season. This is the first ever matchup between the Aggies and a MEAC school, by the way. Bulldogs out of the MEAC, the favorite to win the MEAC this year. There's a look at Aggie head coach Doug Martin. Trying to get win number one. The Aggies home again next week. They still feel like they could go on a run here. And it all starts tonight against the Bulldogs, who won the toss, but they chose to defer. And the Aggies will get a return out of the gates. Juwan Price, who almost broke one loose last week in Albuquerque, gets taken down inside the 20. The quarterback situation, Danny, that was the hot topic all week. Would it be Maldonado? Would it be Johnson? Was Weston Eget ready yet? And Dino Maldonado is about to make his first FBS start.
You know, last week when he stepped in, Adam, I think he did a great job. He had, it's got to be a little nerves, but it didn't show. He had lots of confidence, so let's see if he can pull that confidence forward.
Do not be surprised if the Aggies try to establish the run early. Maldonado will throw on first down to his tailback, Juwan Price. Price near midfield before he's shoved out of bounds by free safety Jalen Evans. A short toss to start to get Dino ready to go.
That's what you have to do. So confidence, right? You want a quarterback with confidence. How do you give that quarterback confidence? Well, you have a little quick screen pass that you throw. Had some blockers out front, had some hosses out in front, getting the block for him. Big gainer on that first down.
Catch number 7 this year for Price. It goes for 26. Play action. Maldonado escapes pressure. Pass is caught. The tight end, Tomas Whitford, only his second catch of the season. He's a big load. 255. He rumbles his way down to the first down marker.
Yeah, Tomas, he got a touchdown on a trick play last week, so he's getting in the mix. Adam, as you know, I'm a big tight end proponent of trying to get that tight end into the game because it's tough when you're a free safety on whether you're going to guard the tight end or whether he's blocking, so you're not sure what to do. But I did want to point out, Dino, lots of agility. You saw him jump out of the way of a couple of pursuers on defense. Lots of patience in there, confidence. I like it.
You said about an hour ago, Danny, you really like his running ability.
Yeah, he's a quick guy. He's fast. He's poised, and so I don't think he's afraid to pull the ball down. Or if coach calls a draw, calls his own number, he can turn it on.
We had a flag on the play. They're going to put the ball back to the 40-yard line. Right now it says 1st and 10 on the scoreboard, but we did not hear the call from our referee as Juwan Price slips across the 40. Now the scoreboard updates to 1st and 15. So it was a 5-yard penalty. The Aggies haven't been penalized a ton so far this year, and Price only gets 1 yard of the carry as he slips.
Yeah, getting penalties early on when you're trying to get things going is very tough. So you got to keep pulling it together, though. Don't let them in the game. You got to put South Carolina State down and just keep going.
Omari Samuels in now at running back. It was Downs in motion. Front side pressure. Maldonado gets rid of it quickly to Robert Downs III. And he's up past the 50 into Bulldog territory, and it's going to bring up 3rd down for the Aggies.
Yeah, so many quarterbacks today, Adam. You see him throwing the ball overhand. You see him throwing the ball from the side underneath. In that case, Dino had to do that. He was getting pressure, confidence. He was poised. He was relaxed. He had to bring his shoulder angle down and throw it kind of sidearm, but made the completion.
The Aggies need the 45 of the Bulldogs. That's Andre Bodison in motion. A lot of short tosses early from Maldonado. This one to the sideline has a man. It's caught. Omari Samuels. Catch number 5 for him this year out of the backfield. 7-yard pickup, good enough for a 1st down.
Last week we saw Dino hit a wheel route for a long gainer. This time he checked the field, didn't see anyone, and you can kind of see him. His head goes from right to left to look. He gets his check down, and we pick up the 1st down.
Maldonado calm, cool, and collected early. 3rd string walk-on from Santa Maria, California. Goes to the ground to Omari Samuels. I wouldn't be surprised, Danny, if the Aggies did run the ball a little more today since Maldonado's starting at QB.
Yeah, I think so. And by the way, those guys up front, those offensive line, it's just starting to gel and come together. We have some great running backs. I would love to task them a little bit more to say, get it done. Go get, 5 yards.
Samuels only gets 2. It's 2nd down and 8. Good start for Dino Maldonado, the redshirt sophomore, transfer from Ventura College. The Aggies go to their 3rd running back. Only the 2nd carry in the 1st since week 1 for Alex Escobar, and he only collects 1 yard. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 7.
So here's where you get into the gamesmanship. So we see lots of pressure that came on that, making a tackle from the backside. So now, if you see that South Carolina State's going to start blitzing more, the thing you want to do, and Coach will do, is he'll throw into the blitz. So if these guys are screaming off the ends as fast as they are, look for them to dump it over behind them.
Maldonado 3 for 3 for 42 yards. Unconventional running play on 3rd and 7. And Samuels gets the first down. He picks up 10, Danny.
Yeah, that's good stuff right there. You got to work those running backs, but part of that is those offensive line. That offensive line, there was a great hole in there. Samuels just had to hit the hole and keep going for the first down marker. So I'd like to see him just keep pushing it in there. That line is doing a great job right now. And see if they can keep it up.
Samuels, 5'11", 201 pounds, former 4-star recruit to Michigan. First game action since 2018 here in the fall. Maldonado sidearm toss to Tomas Whitford. Stampedes inside the 15. The big man from Rhode Island, big on this drive.
Yeah, this is a great play right here. It's a bootleg. So first you start with a bootleg, which means the quarterback reverses out. And when he reverses out, Robert Downs III was in a pass pattern, and everyone thought, oh, it's going to him because he's going deep. Protect the deep. And out sneaks the tight end for a quick catch right there. Love that tight end play.
This week in practice was huge for Dino Maldonado as he got ready for his first FBS start. Big hole, touchdown. Juwan Price, the first rushing touchdown this year for the Aggies.
Yeah, that's a nice carry right there. But once again, Adam, it's that front line on that whole drive. Maybe one play, but that front line really dominated. And when you win the line of scrimmage, there's a lot you can do. A couple of great play calls by Coach. Have bootleg out there to help us set it up. Price finishes the score. Great speed. He saw a hole, takes it to the house.
Juwan Price, the team leader in carries and rushing yards. First rushing touchdown for an Aggie backfield that is only averaging 3 yards per carry for this season, and Ethan Albertson connects on the point after. That was a fun drive to watch, Danny.
Yeah, you know, when you score points, it makes this whole game kind of fun, kind of easy, right? Especially when you can win the line of scrimmage as much as we did on that drive. And it was a good sustained drive. So I'll have to look at the count on whether the pass or the run. It looked pretty balanced to me, Adam. So I thought they did a great job of just keeping it balanced between run and pass. Great opening drive for the Ags for sure.
Support Aggie student athletes by joining the Aggie Athletic Club. The Aggie Athletic Club prepares student athletes for life during and after their careers at NM State. For more information or to join today, please visit AggieAthleticClub.com. 9 plays, 81 yards, 4 minutes, 20 seconds and change. Juwan Price, a 14-yard touchdown run. And it wasn't just Juwan during that drive. We saw some good stuff from Samuels, and Escobar was even in the mix.
Yeah, he really mixed it up quite well with running backs, receivers, and everyone else. Loved again, once more, is that tight end getting into the mix.
And the kickoff by Albertson is over the head of the return man, Rakeem White, for South Carolina State. So now we'll see the Bulldogs offense. They were great in week 1 against Alabama A&M. Scored 41 points, struggled in week 2. Most programs would against that Clemson defense. Only scored 3 points and only collected 235 yards of offense at Clemson last week. They got some athletes, though, Danny. This can be a tough offense to stop at times.
It is. They do have some good athletes. Number 2, Corey Fields, their quarterback. He's very swift, so you have to make sure you keep him maintained and contained inside that pocket, and don't let him out because he will make you pay.
Bulldogs are without their star wide receiver Shaq Davis for the 2nd straight game with a hamstring injury. Run pass option. The pass is complete to Richard Bailey. He breaks the initial tackle. Then he was clipped by Trevor Brohard, who missed the previous 2 because of COVID protocols.
So a quick toss to the outside. So they basically are setting up out there with 3 receivers. We had 2 defenders out there, and they thought, we got numbers. Throw the ball quickly, get extra yards. But the Aggie defense, really tough out there on that initial block, pushed through it and made the stop and blew up the play before it started.
Loss of 2 on the play. Running back is Kendrell Flowers, transfer from Wake Forest, leading rusher this year for the Bulldogs. They're from the MEAC, 0-2, playing their second straight FBS opponents. Pass is incomplete. Corey Fields was looking for Richard Bailey once again.
Dalton Bowles back there on the coverage from the safety position. You know, the last few games, starting even with UTEP, some teams come out and really challenged us on some deep passes. We saw it at UNM last week as well. So I'm sure that coach was saying, look, we are not giving up the deep ball right away. Dalton had his eyes in the right spot. The quarterback was looking at one guy the whole way, and he almost stepped in there for a pick. He has one already, so good play.
Bulldogs 5 for 30 on third down this year. A shovel toss to Flowers, but he's taken down from behind by Donovan King. I don't know how he got that away. He gets 4, but well short of the yardage needed. Yeah,
you know, the nice thing that I'm seeing about the defense right now is the determination, Adam. So Donovan King was on that initial push to the quarterback. He got the ball off. Donovan King spun around and went back and made the tackle chasing from behind. That's the determination that the Aggies need to continue to get off the field and 3.
Bulldogs are now 5 for 31 this year on third down. They've really struggled there. Lawrence Dixon back to handle. He's going to let it roll out, and this is going to be a boomer for freshman Dyson Roberts. It will roll all the way inside the 15. It is a 60-yard punt for Roberts. We're back to Aggie Memorial after this. Gorgeous night for football. Adam Young, Danny Nee, Megan McCormick with you from Aggie Memorial Stadium. The Aggies playing their lone FCS foe this year as they welcome in the South Carolina State Bulldogs from the MEAC and all the way from Orangeburg, South Carolina, about 40 minutes or so away from Columbia, South Carolina, where the University of South Carolina is located. Dino Maldonado, Danny, how about that first drive? 4 for 4, 59 yards.
I like it, you know, and he was not afraid to throw the ball under sidearm from whatever angle he needed to. He was able to get the ball out. If he had a little bit of pressure, he's got good movement with his feet. And most importantly, too, we established a good running game, which really helps open up that passing game as well.
Really good mix of run and pass on that first drive for the Aggies, and Maldonado really using his running backs, Samuels and Price, in the passing game as well. We also saw 2 catches from Tomas Whitford, the tight end, during the opening drive. The Aggies 4 out wide. Maldonado, who can run, will run it near side as he pulled it. Now he does have to be careful because the other 2 quarterbacks behind him are a little banged up.
Yeah, that's one of the ones where coach says you get out around the corner and you just run like heck, and then when you get pressure, fall down. But you can see how quick he is. So he read that. It was like, I'm going to keep it around the side, and he picked up some good yardage, and that makes it very tough on that defensive line to keep track of him.
Maldonado ran for 46 last week. He ran for 37 on one play. That's a long throw to the sideline that's hauled in by Jared Wyatt.
Wow.
And he pushes up past the 25. First down for the Aggies on a really good extra effort there by Jared Wyatt.
Man, Jared Wyatt, he's a big kid. You know, at 6'2", 200 pounds, he's a tough one. He had a great catch last week, Adam. It was a one-handed catch that I just couldn't believe. I talked to Corey about that and about some other stuff. We'll catch up later here. But that was a great job by Jared.
That's catch number 10 for Wyatt this year. In 2019, he only had 7. He's having a great year. Run pass option. Maldonado airs it out to the sideline. Garcia Castaneda is there, and he's tripped up from behind by Kendall Moultrie, the safety. Maldonado right on target for 20.
He is on target. So what, they came out in a zone and we flooded the zone. So you had a guy that was deep, you had someone that was mid, and then you had someone out of the backfield. And basically the defensive back has to decide which one are you going to cover. So whichever way he goes, Dino throws the ball the opposite direction. That's a good read. Nice pass.
2 running backs set. Now Samuels motions out wide. And the give is to Jawan Price, and there's nothing there. This is a big defensive line at the FCS level for the Bulldogs, and the tackle was made by Octavian Minter.
Yeah, I still like running the ball. I still think you have to establish the ball, running the ball, so that will really open up the pass. So those defensive line have to really respect that. And by the way, we broke a couple too as well. So we got some good running backs. Let's work them.
Two receivers top of the screen. That's Powers and Harity. Garcia Castaneda in motion. Maldonado back to throw. Front side pressure. He's belted. And the pass is incomplete. Defended well by cornerback Xavier Kelly. Intended for Powers.
Yeah, there's nothing there. So he was lots of coverage there. So that's a scary pass, because if that ball drifts up in any way, that's an interception. So he kept it down, had a chance at it, but there was just good coverage. I thought maybe he would check down on Isaiah underneath. A lot of things going on in that pass pattern, but he's doing well back there. Dino's composed.
The Aggies 2 for 2 on 3rd down so far. They are only 30% for the year. These are two programs really struggling for the year on 3rd down. 3rd and 10. Catch made by Price. Price with the first down, cuts back, and then he's tripped up. Oh, Danny, he had pay dirt straight ahead. It's good enough for the first down, though.
That is a great play. So he's going to dump it right out on a wheel route quickly, or a quick screen out to him, and have him just get some speed on the edge and put him in open field. But the part that really broke that play was Andre Bodison, who had a great block, crushed his guy, and allowed Price to just go scream by him for a big play. You can't lose sight of Price, too, because if you blink, he'll run past you in a hurry.
Dino Maldonado leading the Aggies on another potential scoring drive here. Ball at the 27. Warner in motion left to right. Maldonado looking left. He throws it across the middle. And Tomas Whitford handles his 3rd catch of the first quarter. The big tight end, JUCO transfer from Monroe College.
Oh, nice. He's a big body, right? So when you're back there, you're looking for someone with a big body with great hands. Across the middle, little deep crossing routes, found a hole in the zone and just dumped it right into him.
Give is to Samuels, looking for a hole, and he's inside the 10, near the 5. They'll mark him at the 8, so he picks up a half dozen. Both running backs having a good first quarter. Juwan Price and Amari Samuels. It's nice when you have two backs you can use.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Samuels had a great hole to run through, and you saw a little stutter step in there. So he tried to juke a couple people and get some extra yards. He's running very, very hard.
Right back to Samuels, trying to bounce it to the edge. Can't find the corner. And he's swarmed down by two Bulldogs, including linebacker Chris Simmons.
Yeah, got Bolt out there as well on that tackle, and he just tried to get outside that. So he saw nothing in the middle. He tried to bounce it wide, and that joker position there really didn't allow him to get outside him, which is their job. So he had to just kind of sit down with what they had.
Only 2 touchdowns for the Aggies and 10 red zone trips coming in this year. Need 7 right here. Maldonado looking towards the pylon. Hauled in by Cole Harity, and he hangs on. Looks like it should be good enough for a first down, Danny.
Yeah, that was a great catch right there by Cole, right? So he did a great job, and he was just an out route that Dino saw and had to make a good pass. Now, Dino did the right thing by throwing the ball and leading him a little bit, because if he misses the defenders behind him, he doesn't want to miss behind. He wants to miss in front. So if Cole can't catch it, nobody catches it, but Cole can, and he did.
Harity needed 4. He gets 4 for the first down to the 4. Running back is Samuels. They give it to Samuels. Cuts up the middle, trying to roll into the end zone, and he's in. Touchdown, Omari Samuels, his first of many with the Aggies.
That's just pure determination right there. He wanted that one, and you could tell when he got into traffic, he just kept pumping those legs. By the way, he's a specimen. He is a great specimen as a running back. He got in there, did not stop pumping his legs, and just earned that all the way. So nice job. Hopefully one of many, like you said, Adam.
Point after from Ethan Albertson out of the hold of the punter, Josh Carlson. And it is blocked by South Carolina State. Scooped up by the Aggies, and I think that was Lazarus Williams who scooped it up. But the kick on the point after is blocked by South Carolina State. So the Aggies only get 6 out of it. They wanted 7. Right now the kicking unit staying on the field. Would this count for 2 right here, Danny? It should, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I couldn't tell if Williams was in the end zone or short of it. And it looks like it's going to count for 2. So a horrible situation potentially turns into something good. The Aggies motioning that they got 2 out of it. It's hard to tell if they were in the end zone or not.
Yeah, it was certainly a big horde of people right there, so it was hard to figure out who had what and where and so forth when he was actually brought down after the block. I don't think coach was happy with the block, so.
Wow. That is one way to get 2. We'll take it. We will take it. 15-0 Aggies. We're having some fun tonight here at Aggie Memorial. Outstanding start so far. The Aggies ahead 15-0. Have you seen something like that before, Danny? That's one way to get 2, I guess.
Yeah, that is certainly one way to get 2. Now coach isn't going to be happy about the blocking because there was a missed block and they got in. However, if you get 2 points, you do not give it back to them. You keep it, and you can clean up blocking later. So that's one way to do it. You got a lot of things happening right now, so it's important that they still do the things they're coached to do, that you have to get your blocking cleaned up.
By the way, we should note this early as well because we could have a situation later where we need a replay. We will not have replay available tonight. There was a campus power outage this afternoon, and it wiped out replay in our television truck. And while we have a moment, I want to say great work by our crew. Rita Rodriguez, Director Valerie Holguin, Vinny Conway, the entire Aggie Vision crew for getting us on the air today because there was a campus power outage this afternoon, so we will not have replay during the course of today's game, just so you're aware. But you know what? Corey White's offensive line's been good, and the Aggies have a 15-0 lead here in the first quarter.
Yeah, great blocking up there. That's really what it's all about, because with that, you can do a lot of things. And so it starts right there. You win the line of scrimmage, you win the game. And that goes for the defense as well. So it's all about winning that line of scrimmage, offensively or defensively.
Defense has only been in for 1 series, but it was a good one. Kept Bulldogs quarterback Corey Field in check. Ethan Albertson will kick off to South Carolina State, and he booms this one into the end zone. Returnable for Rakeem White, and he's just past the 20. That's where the Bulldogs will start their second offensive series. Under 4 left in quarter 1. Aggies ahead 15-0.
Yeah, so the Aggies are an FBS school, South Carolina State, an FCS program, formerly Division I AA, about a step below FBS. Now, head coach Doug Martin, he grew up around the Carolinas. He wants to retire to the Carolinas. He knows this program well. He said they are a tradition-rich program. Usually when you see a game between an FBS and an FCS team, there's a talent gap there. Doug Martin said, not in this game. And good news for Aggies fans, South Carolina State has never beaten an FBS team. Back to you guys in the booth.
Thank you, Megan. 4 NFL Hall of Famers have played for South Carolina State. How about that, Danny? Deacon Jones, Donnie Shell, who was inducted about a month ago. He played at South Carolina State with head coach Buddy Pugh. Darius Leonard, who's a 2-time Pro Bowler.
They got some great company there, right? So after reading it, I was like, holy crap, that's great stuff.
One of the best stats I saw last week when South Carolina State was playing Clemson. Clemson only has 1 NFL Hall of Famer. South Carolina State has 4. That's pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
It was Kendrell Flowers on the ground, the transfer from Wake Forest. He picks up a handful.
Yeah, we have in the middle, Mike linebacker, that middle backer there, we have Trevor Brohard back, who was caught up caught up in this COVID protocol, so he didn't get to play last week. It's nice to have him back where he really filled a hole there, made a big hit, so I'm sure he's chomping at the bit because he loves to put it to people. So expect him to be flying around to the ball today.
Bulldogs taking their time. Clock maneuvers near 3 minutes left here in the first quarter. Second offensive series for the Bulldogs. The Aggies have scored touchdowns on both of their drives so far. Fields can run. He steps up and runs. And he's up to the 32-yard line, right at the marker. And that should move the chains here.
Yeah, Corey can run. There's no doubt about it. And when you have everyone running patterns that are spread out, you get the Aggies that are thin, right? So especially if you're in a zone coverage, you have lots of gaps and holes. So keeping your eye on Corey, keeping him pinned in the pocket is going to be important. Otherwise, he can't break those out, and he can't take one long, too. So got to keep your eye on him today.
That was the first down here tonight for the Bulldogs. Fields out of Hollywood, South Carolina. Hands it off to Flowers, who's taken down by big freshman Garrett Bishop from behind.
Lots of hats to the ball, Adam. I love defense that has, 6, 7, 8 guys to the ball. On the snap, they showed run from the beginning. Our linebackers filled the gaps immediately to really put their heels in and said, nope, nothing happening here.
Bulldogs, by the way, without number 2 running back Alex James, who's unavailable today, and that pass is out of the reach of their best wide receiver available. That's Will Vereen, who caught 4 balls for 96 yards at Clemson last Saturday.
And Will has some really good hands too, so that ball wasn't really catchable. So you got to make sure you stay close to him. I think he had too much cushion, and that he could have easily, if that pass was a little closer, pulled that in one-handed because he's got great hands. So those defense backs got to tighten up just a bit.
Not having Shaq Davis, the big 6'5" wide receiver, really hurts for quarterback Corey Fields. He's out for the second straight game with a hammy injury. 24 yards passing so far for Fields. He needs 9 yards. Good pass as he threads the needle to his big tight end, Yancey Washington.
That's just a good pass right there. So we're in zone, so you have linebackers that are like the mid-level, then you have safeties that are deep. He snuck in behind the linebackers in front of the safeties, and that's exactly where Corey just dropped the ball in there. That's just a good pass. That's a big guy right there to catch that ball, too.
First catch of the season for the 230-pound Washington, right back to the turf, and running back Hendro Flowers gets 2.
Yeah, Chris Ojo was on the corner here. He was on the edge, coming in off the edge, and he really just came screaming in from the side, grabbed both legs, and just hung on.
Bulldogs came into this game averaging 172.5 rushing yards per game, and also 172.5 passing yards per game. Identical numbers rushing and passing coming in after 2 weeks of play. They're 0-2 so far this year. High snap, good handle for Fields, and then he goes nowhere. Brohard came up, Jackalone came over, a pair of linebackers all over it as Fields somehow handled that snap.
And there's Trevor right there, and Nick also joined in on that. That was a keeper all day long. That was a draw. That was a quarterback keeper draw right up the middle there. The defensive line got shifted over with the offensive line and just left one-on-one with the linebackers, and they came screaming downfield in a hurry and puts them in a 3rd and long position. So that's a great second. Let's see if they can really dig their heels in on this 3rd.
Bulldogs 6 for 32 this year on 3rd down. Fields throws near side, caught by Vereen, and he's pushed out of bounds by DJ McCullough. Plenty short of the first down yardage needed.
Yeah, so DJ's out here in coverage and guy in his zone, and so he sees him, he goes out for an out, and DJ came screaming up as soon as the ball left the hand of the quarterback to tackle him right there, no extra yards, and it leaves him short for 4th and puts him in a position if they're going to either go for it or punt it away. Great defense by DJ on right there.
That's 1 quarter of football, a good quarter for the Aggies, seeking their first win of the season. 14-yard touchdown run for Price, 3-yard touchdown run for Samuels. All Aggies early in Las Cruces. LC.org. Tyson Roberts will punt, and it's in the end zone for a touchback, and the Aggies will start at the 20. So this is going to be the third drive, Danny. 2 for 2 right now for touchdowns, and quite frankly, that's where the Aggies struggled the first 3 games. They moved the ball well at times, but they couldn't get touchdowns in the red zone. They've done that tonight.
They have done that tonight. They put together some great drives, but a couple things in there, right? So both drives have started because the defense have dug their heels in and gave the ball back to the offense and said, okay, we've done our part, now it's your turn. And they put together 2 good drives. Let's see what they can do on this third drive, Adam.
Dino Maldonado, 9 for 10 for 130. We are told that Weston Eget and Jonah Johnson both available. Don't know if we'll see them though, but if Maldonado's playing this well, you stick with Dino. It's a block from Juwan Price, throws it across the middle, high snag is made. Rolling around on the turf, Robert Downs III, this senior out of Anaheim.
You know, Robert Downs, he goes 5'11", but man, he had some hops on that catch right there. Dino's poised, you know, that could have turned a lot of different ways. And man, Robert Downs jumped up there and helped the quarterback out. That's a great job.
Four out wide on first down and 10. The Aggies will run it with Juwan Price. Both running backs, a heavy dose so far. That is carry number 4 for Price, 5 for Samuels. 18 yards in the ground and a score for Price, 20 yards in the ground and a score for Samuels.
You know, both running backs that we have, there's one that's really fast, really quick, Juwan Price, and then you also have Samuels, who is very tough and strong. So little different styles, but both very good, strong running backs.
And we've seen the Aggies go with this initial 2-back set a few times in this game. Now they motion out the running back Samuels, who hauls in the pass from Maldonado and spins and crawls near midfield. He's dangerous in the passing game.
He's tough. He's a specimen, man. He can get it done. And so certainly if you stick one arm out, Omari's not going to just go down because you have an arm out there. He's a tough runner, and he showed it right there. Came out of the backfield, caught the ball, busted 2 or 3 tackles for some extra yardage.
Samuels gets 12 on the catch and run. Ball is right at midfield. Dino Maldonado, redshirt sophomore from Santa Maria, California, about an hour away from Santa Barbara. And it helps when you have a good running game. Trying to push the pile, able to for 4. Omari Samuels, the Los Lunas native.
Great job right there. He gets in behind those big hosses up front, and that offensive line moved those Bulldog defensive line 3 yards, and so it allowed him to pick and choose where he goes and get some good yardage on that run. But it all starts with those guys up front. Great job dominating that offensive line.
Big question mark for the Aggies the last 2 weeks has been the right side of the offensive line. Pass and catch, Cole Harity. Helmet is ripped off, flag comes in, and Harity motions for a first down. You know, his second catch of the day.
Yeah, that's a great job. When I was talking to Coach Corey Martin, the wide receiver coach, he said that Cole has been banged up a little bit, but he's anxious to have him back, and he's a good, strong receiver, and he's got a couple tonight already, and yeah, that's a great job right there.
Our referee tonight is Christian Watson, Big 12 crew.
Face match, defense, the 25. That 15-yard penalty, unfortunately, in the run. Automatic first down. Number 14 remain, we must reign in the game. Fletcher, the foul on number 29.
So it was on 29, not 25. That's linebacker Aaron Smith, a freshman from Manning, South Carolina. And the ball is placed at the 19-yard line of the Bulldogs. The Aggies trying to go 3 for 3. 3 drives, looking for their third score. Pistol back is Price, rolling. Maldonado, he can run with it. He'll tuck it, he'll run. Dino Maldonado slides near the 5-yard line. Wise choice by the young man.
Yeah, that's a great job right there. So a little bootleg action up front, and he rolls out. Everyone was covered. He even looked for the outlet, covered, but the seat just opened, and there was this huge gap, and he just ran right into it. So that's a great read by Dino, keeping it.
Maldonado, the give to Juwan Price. And he scampers in for his second touchdown of the first half. 3 rushing touchdowns for the Aggies in the first half of play, after none in the first 3 games.
Hey, again, props go out to that offensive line. So there's a lot you can do when you're really dominating the offensive line. And that's exactly what happened right there. Dominate that offensive line, create that little gap. He doesn't need much because he's very fast, and Price just turns it on there and takes it to the house.
We loved what he did during the spring. Really took full advantage of those 2 spring games. Ran all over the place against Dixie State in the second and final spring game. And a flag comes in on the extra point. So we'll do it again potentially.
As a reaction, defense, number 95. Let's half the distance to the goal. We try from the 1.5-yard line.
So Ethan Albertson will have to re-kick. These are some impressive scoring drives for the Aggies. The first one, 9 plays, 81 yards. The second scoring drive, 11 plays, 85 yards. And this one, 7 plays, 80 yards. That's efficiency. Dino Maldonado, leading the Aggies to 21 points so far. Back with you here at Aggie Memorial. Tonight's game is presented by Memorial Medical Center, the official healthcare partner of Aggie Athletics. Find them online at mmclc.org. Offense really good, defense really good as well, Danny. And next to Oliver Suka is John Mumford, the veteran D-line coach.
Yeah, Coach Mumford, I really enjoyed speaking to him. He's the one in the hat right there. So he's been doing this a long time. And I asked him, Coach, what really gets you going in this? You've been doing this for a long time coaching. He said, I don't know anything else to do. And I love working with all of the young players and really having an impact on their life. You really love coaches like that. He said Justin Segura has really sparked that group on that defensive line, but they've had some massive, great plays. Last week, Lama Levea had a great swim move that put pressure on UNM quarterback. He's just got a great group up there. He had 3 fourth-down stops last week, and each week that group is getting tougher and tougher. He said, I got to make sure that we keep our lane control because Corey Fields going to have a field day. So let's see if Coach Mumford can keep him coached up and keep him doing good on defense.
What he has done, Danny, has been awfully impressive. He lost a lot of guys, including Roy Lopez, who's playing now on Sundays for the Texans. And he has a young group with a veteran mixed in Donovan King. And Donovan's a team captain who's been a great leader. But John Mumford has had to really coach his tail off this year to get those youngsters, those freshmen, and there's a number of them playing a lot, ready to go and play on Saturdays. And we've seen a healthy dose of Garrett Bishop so far tonight. You mentioned Segura. Ivan Escobar is a young man from El Paso who they are very, very high on, so the future is bright on that Aggie defensive line for sure.
Yeah, you know, these coaches, they put in some very long hours, so it's always good to just talk to them away from that.
Another deep kick for Ethan Albertson, not returnable for Rakeem White. Drives have not been good so far for the Bulldogs. 3 plays, 2 yards on their first drive, Danny. 8 plays, 15 yards on their second drive. So the Aggie defense has done a whale of a job.
Yeah, they've had a lot of pressure on that front. Coach Mumford's group is really keeping the pressure on, which makes it tough. I think the big plays, they've had a couple of passing plays across the middle there when the quarterback had lots of time. Corey had time. Corey broke the containment a couple times. That makes it tough. So they really got to keep him in the pocket there, keep their eye on him, because he can make you pay if you let him sneak away.
Aggie's secondary got a big boost this week when Cyrus Dumas was ruled eligible after missing the first 3 games due to NCAA rules. He's a cornerback for the Aggies. To the edge is Flowers, and there's nowhere to go. He was run out by about 4 Aggies over there.
The linebackers are playing a great game right now. So the defensive line is doing their job. They're having containment in all the gaps, a lot of gap control in there and pushing that offensive line back. And it's really drawing all the offensive line to them, freeing the linebackers who are storming downhill. And that's what a linebacker does. And when you get them going downhill as fast as they are, there's not a lot you can do.
Chris Ojo, who you just saw on your television screen, he was in on that play. Fields will dump it off. A screen pass that is caught. That's caught by Vereen, a guy who has big play ability. And he creeps up to the 40, gain of 15.
Yeah, so we run a similar plays to this, and so what happens is you get outnumbered on the end, on the wide part of the field. You throw the ball out there as quick as you can and try to get a point of attack block, and they did on the Aggies, and when that happens, it gets extra yards in there, and that's how they got some extra yards on that. That's a great job by Bulldogs.
Fields handles the snap, rifles a throw. Punched away and almost intercepted. DJ McCullough inches away as he skies in the air from his second pick this year.
You know, defensively, when you're a defensive back, that ball goes in the air, that's an interception. That's where you start getting those stats going, because this one's coming down and it just barely missed us. Great coverage across the middle of the field to pop the ball up. So they're doing a great job in that zone defense.
Yeah, that was Dylan Early right there, number 28 in crimson. He was in coverage, and then McCullough almost got the pick off the deflection. Second down and 10 for Fields and the Bulldogs. Here's Flowers, one of his best runs all day, and then he is driven back by Chris Bell, the safety from Hendersonville, Tennessee. Flowers does get 8, though.
Chris Bell, he can bring the contact. There's no doubt about it. Chris Bell at the safety position saw this happening the whole time, saw that there was lots of blocking up front. There was created a little hole, and he came screaming in to fill that hole to really dig his heels in and make a great contact, make a great hit and tackle.
Bulldogs 1 for 3 on third down. Fields on an out route. It's caught by Bailey. And he gets just enough for a first down by a yard.
You know, you get Chris Ojo out there on that coverage, and you're running someone that is already wider than Chris, and it's very tough to defend that, and that pass has to be perfect to the outside, and it was, and all Chris could do was go in there and just push him to the ground, which he did, but was able to complete it and get the first down.
Just the 4th first down for the Bulldogs, 15 already for the Aggie offense. They lead 22-0. Big tight end Washington was in motion. The Aggie defense will adjust. Right back to Flowers, and a flag is down, probably holding here, Danny.
Cyrus Dumas coming in to help there. This is a first game that we've had him not back, but this is the first time that he's really suited out for the Aggies. Let's see what the call is.
Holding. Offense, number 73, 10-yard penalty. Main's first down.
That's left tackle Cam Johnson, redshirt freshman, Irmo, South Carolina.
You know, Cyrus Dumas, as we're talking about, he's our boundary corner there. He's at 5'10", 170. He's a sophomore, and Coach is very big on this guy because he thinks he is so athletic, and he could really be someone that everyone will have to worry about in coverage. And so it's good to have him back. He's number 13. He's right there. You see him. Let's see if he can continue to have a good game.
Kind of came out of nowhere in fall camp because he was such a late addition during the offseason, and then the word came that he would miss the first 3 games, and that was a big blow for an Aggie secondary that's already very inexperienced at this level. Catches made, good throw again by Fields, right on the money for Jalen Perry, his first collegiate catch.
Yeah, that pass was just over Nick Jacklone. He just couldn't get his hands up high enough. He was skying as high as he could. It was a good toss right in there because there's a zone, and they're in a zone, and you just sit in that pocket or that area, and there was nothing he could do about it besides go up high, and the ball went over top and went in front of the defensive back. It's just a great play, great pass, and great catch.
Best offensive series so far for SC State. Running back now is Dante Anthony. And they give it to him for his first carry of the day, just his 7th of the season. He only had 4 yards on the ground coming in, and he gets 6 on this first down carry.
He got good 6 yards right there, and that was all based on a cutback. So it's a zone blocking scheme up front where everyone is blocking down. He starts to the left and saw this great big gap to the right, planted his left foot, and cut back against the grain to pick up those 4 or 5 yards.
Another bad snap. Field still collects. Anthony on the ground. Taken down by Eric Marsh. Josh Ferguson, Chris Bell was also there. But once again, it's another 6-yard pickup for a first down for Anthony.
It's a good one, and what South Carolina State is doing is they are making all of their plays very quick. So it's a quick handoff, it's a quick pass, and they're not going to stay back in the pocket and allow the Aggies to put in some zone or some blitz or stunt.
There's movement up front. They're going to blow the play dead.
Offsides, called a reaction. Defense, number 91, 5-yard penalty. Makes first down.
That's our defensive tackle, Justin Segura, who we were just praising moments ago.
Yeah, it should be ruled that, you know, once you talk about him, that you shouldn't have to create a penalty. Just say, yeah, that was me we were talking about. I'm kidding. He is a very tough kid. It's a tough one right there. But Justin Segura, great athlete, and so we're glad to have him. So one penalty, not a big deal. He's doing a great job up front there.
Field 7 for 10 so far. They're going to run it here with Flowers, and he pinballs into the end zone. Kendrell Flowers, his 4th rushing touchdown of the season, a transfer from Wake Forest, and the Bulldogs are on the scoreboard.
Great blocking up front that whole series. As a matter of fact, they've really dominated the line where they've created a gap. I say dominated, maybe not dominate, but they created enough of a gap where the running backs could pick their holes to run through. Flowers found a great hole to run through to take it all the way in for a TD.
Dyson Roberts kicks and also punts, and he missed this one wide. So the point after is no good. Bulldogs only get 6, 22-6 midway through quarter 2. All Aggies so far on a beautiful night from the Mesilla Valley. Dino Maldonado making his first career start at this level. He is 12 for 13. He's off to a great start. For more on his story, we send it down to Megan McCormick.
Yeah, you know, looking for some depth in the quarterback position, Doug Martin said Dino was a good get for them. An under-recruited JUCO transfer from Ventura College, like the Aggies, didn't play a season last year. Now, he comes from a very successful family. His dad, Abel, served in public office for years, even as lieutenant governor under Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now he runs the family farm, the family vineyard, Runway Wines with Dino's sister Erica. So guys, while Dino's dad's running the family business, it sure does look like Dino's running the Aggies offense down here.
Well played, Megan. I see where
like
you're going
it.
with that. I like it.
Rolled right in. That was nice.
Well played. The Aggies will take a knee, and they will start at the 25-yard line. Our sports information director, Andrew Stern, coined the phrase earlier this week. He called him Dino Dimes. I think that might stick in Aggie Nation as well.
Could be. Let's see if Dino Dime can get us going again here, getting rolling. He's doing good. He's got a hot hand. So it'll be interesting to see where he continues to go, Coach, and Jonah gets back. First things first, let's see what we can do on this drive.
Aggie offense has been really, really successful running the football. 3 rushing touchdowns so far. Maldonado has made completions when he's had to. This is Amari Samuels, and he might have been taken out by his face mask. No penalty flag. Doug Martin said this week, he said with Dino, he doesn't have to be the hero, Danny. He just has to make completions, and his completion percentage is really good.
Yeah, but you know, it's interesting, and it's hard though, because when you're in college and you get in a game, you want to do a lot. You want to help your team, and so sometimes you overstretch, and that's what Coach is talking about.
Maldonado will whistle a pass intended for Robert Downs III, nowhere close to him.
Yeah, there's nothing that Robert can do either. So that his defense back was all over him right there. He turned and looked at Robert Downs. And one of the things that Dino will continue to get better at is if he stares at a guy, he brings it on. That DB was on it, and he stepped up right away onto Robert Downs and could create problems. However, that does open it up for a pump and go where he can turn and have that same pattern, pump him, and then Robert Downs turn upfield and go for a deep ball.
Third down, 9 yards to go. The Aggies need the 35-yard line. Maldonado has a man, and he hooks up with Robert Downs III up to the 40. 3 catches for Downs so far.
Robert Downs is doing a great job. That's a great deep in route. Part of what made that so successful is that they kept max coverage. They kept someone in to take on any extra rushing. The offensive line did a great job. Dino had lots of time in there, and he drilled that ball in there. Dino Dime threw that one nice.
Downs hobbled off the field. Hopefully he's okay. Right back to the ground. Juwan Price running hard up to midfield. They'll mark him at the 49. He gets 8 on a very aggressive, tough run.
Yeah, you know, if there's not that one tackle right there, there is no one else that's left. Everyone was in coverage and was spread across the field. All he needed to do is break that tackle, and he's gone to the house. He's inches away from breaking that one.
Already 2 rushing touchdowns for Juwan Price, the redshirt freshman in this game. Right back to him, and he gets 2 extra past the first down yardage needed. Gain of 4 for Price out of Peoria, Arizona, Peoria High School.
Yeah, you know, in spring, too, he had a couple of returns on some kicks, and so he's got wheels. We've seen his wheels. He can do it. So I like the way the coach is moving both Juwan and Omari in and back and forth and trying to give them different things to work on and different patterns that work for their abilities. Both very talented running backs.
Already 80 yards on the ground for the Aggies. They came into this game only averaging 83 per game. Heavy rush again. Maldonado able to get away. He was looking for Tomas Whitford, and that was really good coverage from linebacker Chris Simmons.
Yeah, that's a tough one right there. And you're right, Adam. That was great coverage. And so they were in a single high safety, so it was probably a man free. So there was a free safety that's free. Everyone else is in man coverage, and they were covered. There was nothing he could do with it. I like that he's giving it more time. He's rolling out of the pocket. He's giving more things, more opportunities once you're out of the pocket. It makes it very tough because now you can be a runner as well.
He's already thrown for 184. Big day so far for Maldonado. Hard time again. Garcia Castaneda spins for an extra yard. That was a similar route that went for a touchdown last week against UNM.
Yeah, that was a good one. And the one against UNM, that was a 75-yard TD. A little skinny kind of post. But the pass right here in between coverage, they're in a zone. Dino just nailed that pass. That was a great pass. And, you know, you got to keep your eye on number 2 because he has wheels. And he can throw the ball. He threw for a touchdown last week as well.
Yeah, he showed that last week for sure. Maldonado puts it in the air. Touchdown. Jared Wyatt holds it in.
Hey, yo, how about that, Adam? You know, he checks to the running back on a wheel route out of the backfield, nothing there. He waited for Jared Wyatt to clear, so he sat back there. Jared just stayed on his deep vertical route, and Dino Dime dropped that one right in there. Now, Jared Wyatt's got great hands. That was a great catch by him. We saw him catch a one-handed one against UNM. He can get it done. He's a big, strong, fast kid, 6'2", 200, Wiley, Texas. Nicely done.
Second career touchdown as an Aggie for Jared Wyatt. Point after Ethan Albertson. Dino Maldonado. He's thrown for 231. Hashtag Dino Dimes going crazy tonight here at Aggie Memorial. Tonight's game is presented by Memorial Medical Center, the official healthcare partner of Aggie Athletics. Find them online at nmclc.org. 29-6. Dino Maldonado, Danny Nee, 15 of 18, 231, and he's been on the money all day.
Yeah, you know, Jonah and Weston, those are 2 good quarterbacks too as well. Dino, he had to wait for his time, and his time was part of the second half of the UNM game, and his time was tonight. And a lot of people, a lot of players, Adam, that's how they get their first start. That's how they get their first nod to move forward. And he is using every second, every ounce of energy to do the best that he can with the opportunities given. Great job.
Doug Martin gives a lot of credit to Chase Holbrook, a former Aggie star QB in his own right, who is now the quarterback's coach. And Doug said Chase did a great job getting Dino late in the process. He didn't want to go back to Ventura because if you go back to a junior college for another year after not playing for a year, then you could really get lost in the recruiting cycle. He started his career at Portland State, then went to Ventura. Great high school numbers. He's been a proven quarterback, but not at this level. And it goes to show that you need somebody behind the first couple, too, to be ready to go, especially in this current era of COVID when the Aggies have needed Maldonado. He's a third stringer, and he's not playing like it one bit. Corey Fields back in at quarterback, a tunnel screen pass to Will Vereen, who breaks a tackle, stays on his feet, and he's taken down from behind by Nick Chacalone, but he gets 10.
Yeah, you know, broken tackles right there, so you got to hang on to those. Hey, Adam, I want to just comment back on your last discussion with Dino and Chase. I know we're on defense, but what a great mentor to have someone like Chase Holbrook to be your quarterback coach. What a great player he was, who posted tons of big yardage. Anyway, here we are on defense.
Very methodical so far offensively for the Bulldogs, coming off a loss at Clemson, 49-3 last Saturday. This is Flowers again, who had the touchdown run in the previous series for South Carolina State. They're out of Orangeburg, South Carolina, just outside of Columbia, where the South Carolina Gamecocks play. There's a lot of really good high school football in the Carolinas. Doug Martin talked about that a lot this week at his press conference. And the Bulldogs typically able to get a lot of those leftovers that don't go play for South Carolina. Clock moves, 3:35 left here in the first half. Fields back to pass. Rifles it across the middle. Will Vereen again. He's been all over the place offensively for the Bulldogs, and he kind of came up massaging his shoulder a bit.
Yeah, that was a tough pass right there into coverage where Nick Chacalone had coverage on him, and he kind of turned his head one way and he just ran right by him. We're close, we're in the area, but we need to turn and make those plays, at least knock him down. Will ran a great route coming across the middle there. We got to figure out a way to get our hand on that ball.
The Aggie defense trying to get back to what they look like in quarter one. Flowers trying to shake through a hole. A couple yards after the initial hit, picks up 5 yards on the carry.
You know, South Carolina State is mixing it up quite a bit. So you come out here with these deep balls across the middle, then you're going to run it, then you spread it out and on the throw it to the edge. So they're really mixing it up quite a bit. And the one thing they are doing is making everything up-tempo very fast. They're not sitting back. So stunts and blitzes and other things that Coach Spaziani may have called up at UNM hasn't had a chance to really do it because they're too busy, you know, moving things along quite a bit. Get the ball out of their hands quickly.
Fields, dump off pass, and he was not on the same page as Flowers. Good idea, but Flowers couldn't turn around quick enough.
Yeah, he's got about a 3-step drop in there, maybe a little bit more, but it's about a 3 count that he's got to get rid of the ball. If he didn't get rid of the ball right there on that 3rd count, he was about to take a sack, so he just dumped it out there. Great coverage by the Aggies secondary. I know they've been picked on in a few other games. They're playing a really good game, not letting anyone behind them. That's the biggest thing you got to worry about in the secondary. Nothing deep, no big plays.
Bulldogs need the 32. They are 2 for 4 on a 3rd down. Fields throws it, and it's incomplete. Yancey Washington was the intended receiver, and the big tight end, 230-pounder, almost reached out and caught it.
That is a big guy right there, and so that's a tough pattern to go in, you know, and he almost caught that ball. And great job just getting our hand in there. I think Trevor had coverage with some other people across the middle there. That was a great 3rd down, but it looks like they're going to stay on the field, and they're going to go for it on 4th, and why not?
Weird field position here for the Bulldogs. Dyson Roberts, their kicker, his longest 27. He missed an extra point earlier. Bulldogs 4 for 6 on 4th down in the first 2 weeks. And a timeout is called by South Carolina State.
South Carolina State.
Well, you know, Adam, even though you have a score of 29-6, and you think, oh, listen, everything is going good. They posted against their first game against Alabama A&M. They scored 41 points. Now, they lost, but they can put points on the board, so you can't give them any breathing room to think, oh, you can just throw the ball or you can score. It's not a big deal. They can post big points.
They're trying to find the right play when they go for it here.
Yeah, and I think what they're looking at is they're trying to look at how far off are we playing off these wide receivers there. So you can kind of see us we're 5 yards off or not, or a little deeper. So if that's a quick pass right in there.
They need the 32. Heavy pressure, pass is caught. Bailey on the reception. Gets by Bell and he scampers in. Touchdown Bulldogs on 4th and 5 from the 37. Richard Bailey, his first touchdown of the season.
So quick pass, you know, we just talked about they're 5 yards off. They're playing, you know, kind of not a prevent, but they're playing a little bit back. It's 4th and 5. They have time to come up and make the play. But after you take 2 drop steps as a defensive back and he drills the ball in there, you come up, you have to make a tackle. And we didn't make the tackle, and there's no one behind you to help. So Bailey turned that one around after a missed tackle and took it to the house for a TD. That was a good pass play by them.
Roberts good on this point after missing one earlier. Bulldogs are now 5 for 7 on 4th down this year, and that was a huge play to keep them in this game. Remember, they won the toss, but they deferred to half 2, so they will get the ball to start half 2, and that's a big blow for the Aggie defense, which played so well in the first quarter.
Yeah, and there's Coach Sukup right there. He's our linebacker coach, and he's sending the boys down. He's going to try to get with them and say, look, here's the thing. It's 4th down. You did the hardest part of it. You had 4th and 5, and we couldn't get there to make a play. And so that we got to learn to start making those plays and not giving up a big play. That was a big play, and that kept them in the game. And so those are things that we have to work on to get better at.
Good drive for Corey Fields and the Bulldogs. 7 plays, 75 yards, over 247. Results in the Bailey touchdown catch of 37 yards. Plenty of time left for Dino Maldonado and the Aggie offense, though. But first, let's see if Juwan Price will get a shot at a return. The Aggies have had a kick return touchdown or punt return touchdown in 3 of their previous 4 games versus FCS opponents. Here's Juwan Price. Juwan Price to midfield. One man to beat, and he almost got it. Oh, Danny, that could have been perfect.
Oh, man, that was it. Did you, as we're sitting up here, Adam, and I know you saw it, the sea just parted, and it's like, there it is right there. And he just poured his speed on right through there. He had one guy to beat, but the last defender really did a good job because he backed up and didn't give him any room to take that down the sidelines, which is exactly where he's going. That was a fantastic return by Juwan Price.
Jason Huntley had a kick return touchdown against Alcorn in 2018. O.J. Clark punt return score against UIW in 2019. And then in the spring, it was Juwan Price against FCS Tarleton with a kick return score. Almost got one right there. Maldonado rolling left, trying to plant and throw. He does. Home run ball. It's caught. Isaiah Garcia Castaneda. Touchdown, Aggies.
So we talked about Isaiah in the open and what a threat he is. You have to know where he is at all times. They may have known where he was, but he beat them. But it was Dino, the dime, that dropped that in there, rolled out, kept the play alive with his feet, kept his eyes downfield, and when he saw Isaiah running that post back in towards the end zone, he just stepped in there, take a good crow stop, hop, boom, threw it deep, touchdown. Great job.
Point after Ethan Albertson. What a story brewing in the Mesilla Valley. Dino Maldonado, 3rd string walk-on quarterback, came in last week in Albuquerque, Almost got the Aggies win. Gets his first FBS start. Hooks up right here with Isaiah Garcia Castaneda. Danny, he is 16 for 19 for 272.
And you know, the interesting thing is, Adam, that he threw that ball with confidence because it was still, I mean, they didn't break coverage. They knew exactly where he was. He just beat their coverage. So he threw the ball with confidence into that coverage, and he did a great job. You know, we talked about some of the keys. It's like catch everything that's close. Those receivers are catching everything, but it sure helps when you're wide open, and it helps when Dino can throw the ball like he's doing. It all starts with that offensive line. That offensive line is doing a great job. Lots of time. Dino's keeping the play alive with his scrambling, and Isaiah's like, yeah, I had that all day long. I was right there. Cut through 3 guys, not a problem for me.
That right there will be our Whataburger play of the game. We'll coin that right now. Perfect throw, perfect catch. Our Whataburger play of the game right there, as Dino Maldonado connects with Isaiah Garcia Castaneda. So now some time left after the Aggies score in 17 seconds.
Scored in 17 seconds. Holy smokes, we haven't seen that in a bit. And there's the best part about scoring is we get the wonder dog.
Striking the wonder dog.
Okay, defensively, there's Coach Suka. He's telling them, I know you didn't get a lot of rest, but that's what happens when we score quick. Their job is to still make us stop. Coach Mumford's over there telling those guys, yeah, absolutely, you have to do your job, and it's time to be to not let them move down the field like they did before. Let's see what they got.
And that was all set up, too, by the 58-yard kick return for Juwan Price. Easy dump off to the running back, Flowers. And he sneaks up to the 35-yard line. This is a big series for the Aggie defense to get some momentum into half 2.
It is, and this is, they just dumped it quick right behind the defensive line and just outran the linebackers to the sideline. And so that play, those have been good for the Bulldogs, and they've done quite well with it. And it's hard to get pressure on Corey because the ball is out so quick. So you have to figure out, well, what else can we do to really affect that and not give him that play?
Bulldogs do have 2 timeouts left. Aggies get to Fields. He's hit as he throws, and he airmails his intended receiver, Vereen. Frank Spaziani brought the house right there.
He did.
Bo, and I think Donovan King as well from the front side.
Yeah, lots of pressure on that, but Corey really did throw that ball down there. DJ McCullough on coverage. That was great coverage. He turned and ran with Will Vereen, and there was just, he couldn't get past him. So great coverage by the Ags on that.
3rd down, 2 yards to go. Bulldogs converted on 4th down on the previous possession. Fields with Flowers in the backfield. Gets rid of it quickly. Timing route, and it's our time for Hezekiah Massey. Freshman from Clover, South Carolina, his 2nd catch this year.
Yeah, that's a great play to call right there, because you're putting a lot of flooding a zone area in there. So you have one a little deeper running an out route. You have a little shorter running an out route. And so you have a linebacker covering the short, and the deeper one, you have a deeper defensive back who has to come up to make the play, and it's not enough time, and they got a 1st down.
Drive continues for the Bulldogs. Pass is incomplete. Chris Ojo dropped in coverage, and probably should have been caught by Jalen Perry, who had to go through his fingertips.
Yeah, Coach Spaziani's calling up a little pressure, so I think he's at a point where we're saying, okay, fine, look, I know he's getting the ball out quickly, but we're still going to pressure him. We're not allowing him time to sit back there and pick us apart, and I like that. But the thing is, when you run the blitz or a stunt or anything else, you end up most of the time leaving your defensive backs in man coverage, so they're going to have to toughen up.
Fields looks right, throws right, caught. Vereen with the catch. McCullough right there defending. They get 6. They're going to be 4 yards shy of a 1st down with 3rd down upcoming.
Lots of pressure again, lots of pressure coming from every angle there, so he has to get the ball out quickly. DJ had great coverage on that, but here we are, 3rd and short.
Bad snap again, scooped up by Fields, gets away from Donovan King, and the pass is almost caught on the initial deflection. How about Fields to recover for what might have been the third time here in the first half, Danny?
Yeah, you know, when I talked to Coach Mumford, and I was talking about Corey Fields, and he said, he's quick, he's fast, and I agree. You watch the Clemson game, he's a quick guy. And so in this case, he did break containment almost and create a situation where it was a tipped ball that turned into almost a disaster there. Corey's doing a great job.
That was Richard Bailey who walks off. Walks off with the help of the training staff for the Bulldogs. They will punt here. Lawrence Dixon is back to receive the punt. Dyson Roberts pulls double duty as the punter and the kicker. He's averaging 38 yards per punt. Here's the punt, backpedaling Dixon, and it is through the end zone. The Aggies will have it at the 20.
That was a great stop by the defense, Adam. They did a great job. You know, they got a few plays in there where they got a first down, and the defense was just stingy. And I think part of that is they didn't become complacent, and Coach Spaziani, the defensive coordinator, was bringing in some blitzes, some stunts, some different things to keep it moving and not let Corey get comfortable back there.
Well, plenty of time for Dino Maldonado, right? 39 seconds.
Yeah, he needed how much last time?
17.
17?
Now, granted, it was much better field position, but you know what? Ethan Albertson has shown a really good leg, so I think that's the goal right here is get into his field goal range, Danny. Let's see what Maldonado has in store in this drive. He just hands it off to Juwan Price, who drags a tackler up to the 40. Another great run by Juwan Price, who's had a great half. This one goes for 20.
Yeah, Juwan Price, he gets in that second, third level, and he starts looking around for where he can break. He's quick and very kind of a scat back. So once he gets into that open field, he's very tough to bring down, and that's why he was able to get 12 yards once he broke that line of scrimmage.
58 yards unofficially for Price in the first half. Into Bulldog territory, first catch of the day for a man you talked about a lot before the game, Danny, Andre Bodison.
You know, I talked to Coach Corey Martin, who's the wide receiver coach, and said, tell him about
Mexico
Andre.
State will take their first charge timeout of the half.
He's 6'5", you can see him right there, 6'5", 205, and there was just a lot of things of he got hurt and, you know, COVID, and there was this, that, and the other, and it just hasn't got into the role. But I like the way he plays. I like that he's a big body. Look at the arms, long arms. He can get up and catch the ball if you ever need to lay it up high. So that was a great job right there by Dino and by Andre to make that catch.
And not having Bodison, that was a big loss in the first two games. He missed the first two COVID protocols, came back last week, 3 catches, 28 yards, and he's still trying to get back to where he was in fall camp. And in fall camp, he was one of the best targets for the Aggie quarterbacks.
Yeah, at 6'5", he'd be a great target, right? So he can always find him out there.
Maldonado has thrown for 294, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. So no mistakes so far for Dino Maldonado. Here's Juwan Price, and he's stuffed right away. Might even be a loss of a yard in the play.
So I see South Carolina State, they're turning up their defensive pressure a little bit. They're going to start blitzing off the edge there. I think they're not going to just let Dino have his time to throw deep.
30 seconds. Please set the game clock at 22 seconds. 2-2.
Which is really what UNM did, and that affected Dino a bit. That offensive line has done a great job, and they need to continue to do that.
Thank you.
Aggies use a timeout here, so they should be down to 1. 22 seconds left. Ball is at the 39 of the Bulldogs. Season long, field goal wise for Albertson, 43. So still out of his range, it appears. Bodison in motion to the left of Maldonado. Maldonado looks that way, steps up, and he's going to run. The Aggies still have a timeout, so That's just fine. He's going to be short of the first down, so the clock will move. Dino's trying to spike it looks like. And he will. But now he puts the Aggies in a situation where they have to kick because it's going to be 4th down, Danny.
Yeah, we had 2 timeouts, so I'm not sure where he was going with that. But that's a great run by him right there. And so yeah, he's got great wheels. I just like the quickness, and I know we've talked about it. His decision to take the ball and run was quick. You know, there was people covered downfield. There was a wide open middle, and he just took it and ran.
This will be a 49-yard field goal for Albertson out of the hold of Josh Carlson. It's on the way, and it is no good. Well, you would have loved to see another play like we talked about, Danny. It says 2 timeouts, but I believe the Aggies only have 1. They've used 2 here lately, so they still had 1, so you probably didn't have to spike the football there and waste it down. But
yeah, get him a little closer. I guess that was the point, is that let's just use the timeout to get him a little closer. But in any event, it was a good try. Ethan has a strong leg. It just didn't look like he didn't get it all. It just kind of didn't have the punch off the kick.
Aggies led 15-0 after 1 quarter. They lead 36-13 right here with 1 second left. Doug Martin will catch up with Megan McCormick before he heads to the locker room at halftime. All sideline reports are brought to you by Memorial Medical Center. They're also the title sponsor of tonight's game, and this has been a good night of football for the Aggies, Danny.
That's the end of the first half.
The Aggies done a great job, and Coach Martin has always been all about a complete game. So I'm sure in the locker room he's going to remind them, look, I want a complete game.
14-yard touchdown run Price. He also has an 8-yarder, 3-yard touchdown run Samuels, 41-yard touchdown catch for Isaiah Garcia Castaneda. And Megan is standing by with Aggie head coach Doug Martin. All right, we're having some technical issues with Megan's microphone, so we'll head to halftime as the Aggies lead 36-13. That's the score. Halftime comes your way next. He's going to get reps with the first team for the first time, and he's going to get the reps he needs to be ready this weekend. He had a good week of practice, took it all in, and it's led to success in the first 2 quarters. Tonight, South Carolina State won the opening toss. They chose to defer to half 2, so they will start with the ball here in the 3rd quarter as striking the Wonder Dog picks up the tee on the turf. Corey Fields was kind of overshadowed a bit in that first half, Danny. He was pretty good running the offense for the Bulldogs.
He did a great job. They mixed it up quite a bit with a run pass, kind of get the ball out quickly. We haven't been able to get to him too much. So let's see what Coach talked about in the locker room at halftime. 3rd quarter is when you really start to see adjustments. You see both sides coming back out. Not going to do the same thing they did in the first half. They're going to change it up a bit and figure out where that opportunity lies.
Kendrell Flowers, the running back, 5 yards per rush for him in half 1. They're going to throw in the first play of half 2. Fields pumps, throws, and he throws it out of bounds. Nearly caught by Aggie running backs coach Matt Christian there on the Aggie sidelines.
Great pressure up front there. There's just a lot of defensive linemen that are just getting the job done. A lot of bull rushes in there, which means you just push your guy straight back into the quarterback. Missed just barely getting our hands on him. He's kind of a swift-moving guy. Coach Mumford was worried about that early on. He's a defensive line coach, so let's see what they can help draw up this time.
Fields out of Hollywood, South Carolina. Population just over 5,000, right outside of Charleston. Fields hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. He was popped by Chris Ojo, and he has been huge with the Aggie defense in his short time here. Transfer from Eastern Washington.
Man, did he come screaming in off that corner. So Coach Spaziani dials up some pressure with Chris Ojo coming off the corner. And that is our best pass defense, is when you have a rush and you're knocking the quarterback down. Couldn't get the pass off and accurately because he had Chris in his face. And by the way, he looks like a specimen. You don't want him to come full speed to get a piece of you.
Chris Ojo, 6'1", 220, played in some huge football games at the FCS level with Eastern Washington. Bulldogs trying to move the football for the first time in the half, and it is bobbled and then intercepted. DJ McCullough, his second pick of the season, and he is still on his feet. He's calling for blockers. DJ McCullough, how about some hands?
I like it. So defensive backs, that was a free safety, so defensive backs, every day you practice the tip drill. The ball's in the air, you go get it. That's your ball, no one else. Especially if you're going to get an INT out of it. DJ tipped the ball and had to go back up and get it, and he wasn't satisfied. He wasn't done, and you're right, Adam. He was like calling for blockers. It's like, go here. I think I can take it to the house. Great pick, and a flag at the end. I think it just got a little close to the sidelines there, but DJ's been in some great coverage. He did a fantastic job in positioning his body by the ball, in front of the ball there, to tip it up, tip it to himself, and keep it alive.
Christian Watson is a referee.
Return. Personal foul, horse collar tackle, South Carolina State, number 73. That penalty is enforced for the end of the run, half the distance to the goal, first down, Mexico State.
Interception return of 20. You can tack on some more. That was our left tackle, Cam Johnson, for the horse collar. Bulldogs +3 turnover margin in the first 2 weeks, and the Aggies +1 in this game. The Aggies haven't turned it over yet. They forced one right here.
Yeah, you know, and Adam, I think part of what happens is Chris came in with that last play with so much speed and agility that he put a pop on him that he may have been a little worried about Chris sneaking in on him.
Maldonado back to work from the 15, and that's a big loss. Screaming in from his linebacker spot, B.J. Davis. He takes down Juwan Price. B.J.
Davis saw exactly that was happening there, so everyone was occupied. Every offensive lineman had a block. No one was on the linebacker, so he spotted it and just went right through the line and pressed him for a tackle for a loss.
Loss of 3 on the play. Second down and 13 coming up. Rice is still in it, running back. 4-man rush for the Bulldogs. Out route to Bodison, good grab. And he takes the defender. Jalen Evans ahead for a few more. He gets 7 on the catch and run.
Yeah, he's a big body. We talked about that. He also had Terrell Warner across the middle coming as a crossing route. So those two crossed each other, had him across the middle as well. And so haven't called his name tonight, but they're out there in these patterns, and lots of time for Dino to pick his guys, lots of guys to choose from, and he's finding the big body of Andre.
Third down for the Aggies, 6 yards to go. Aggies very successful in the red zone in the first half. That was Warner in motion. Maldonado looking left. Now he's going to tuck it and run. Maldonado lost the football, but it bobbled back in his belly, and he falls on it near the 3.5-yard line. He's going to have the first down. That was dangerous, but he fell right on top of the football.
Do you think if he wouldn't have fumbled, could he get that touchdown, Adam, you think?
Maybe.
He was pretty close, wasn't he? Hey, when things are going good for you and it's all working, you see an opening, you keep the ball, you run up there, you fumble the ball bounces back into your hands, and you keep it. Just a great night for him all the way around.
The Aggies are at the 3-yard line. Samuels dances, and he's going to be short. He's down to the 1. He got 2. Second down and goal from the 1 upcoming.
Yeah, South Carolina State wasn't biting on the fly motions that we had, so a lot of guys screaming on the back side, going behind the quarterback, looking, look here, and they knew all along. Now it's coming up the middle.
Linebacker Eric Marsh lined up wing right as a fullback. Samuels trying to jump over the pile, and he's short. Just trying to jump his way into the end zone, Danny.
Yeah, we're not at the angle where we can see much, but it seems like he got a pretty good jump on it as well. Great defensive stand where they're pushing back. It was a stalemate where there was no one making any progress, so he only had one thing to do, is try to go over top.
Marsh lined up at fullback, wing right again. Running back is Samuels. They fake it to him. Maldonado throws it. Eric Marsh, a touchdown. The linebacker from Buckeye, Arizona, catches a touchdown from Dino Maldonado.
Eric Marsh, he comes in off the running back position, a fullback blocking back. He gets chipped. A linebacker hits him because he knows, like, no, something's wrong here, so I'm going to chip him and not let him get out. He struggled to get out, but he finally was able to get released, and Dino just dumped the ball to him. That was an easy pitch and catch.
Well, I love it when a fullback gets a touch, and I really like it when the fullback is a linebacker getting a touch, Danny. Point after from Ethan Albertson is good. The Aggies use Marsh at fullback in practice. The first time he's been thrown the football in a game. All Aggies tonight from Aggie Memorial. Oh, Danny, you played defensive back for the Aggies. The dream of every defensive player is to score a touchdown, right?
Oh, if you can get your hands on the ball, you want to take it to the house because you know it doesn't happen very often. So when Eric Marsh got his chance, you're right, he wasn't going to be denied.
Eric Marsh, a 1-yard touchdown catch. Bulldogs offense will take over at the 25-yard line. You wanted more out of the defense at halftime, Danny. You got it. That DJ McCullough interception leads to the Marsh touchdown reception.
Yep, and I think a lot of that starts with our defensive line up there, and we have some stunts and some other things going on. Chris Ojo gets a great stick on the quarterback, which kind of, you know, let him know, hey, I'm here, and I'm going to come get you. And the defensive back's playing a solid game. And DJ was in the right spot. Great defense.
Still Corey Fields at quarterback. Quincy Hill was used a little bit last week at quarterback when the Bulldogs played at Clemson. Here's Kendrell Flowers, the transfer from Wake Forest, met by a host of Aggies, including Garrett Bishop and Trevor Brohard. It's a welcome sight to see Brohard back. Loss of one in the play. He missed the previous two with COVID protocols.
A lot of defense standing their ground out there. So Garrett Bishop in the middle, making a big stand there, big 96. So a lot of guys getting their chance to show what they have up front there.
Bulldogs playing their second straight FBS opponent. They're an FCS school. New running back, Ja'Cory Benson, redshirt junior from Seneca, South Carolina, gets 3 yards on the play.
You know, the defense is playing with such aggression, such passion. In that case, we're going to blitz a linebacker from the backside, which left the opening on the behind him, and it's Caleb Mills that's coming in from the free safety spot to really put that play down and not let it start at all. So he came screaming in from a free safety spot to make that play.
Bulldogs 3 for 8 on third down. They need the 35-yard line. Fields will throw. Now he's going to run. He'll try to run for the first down. Might have gotten an extra yard, and he gets to the marker, Danny. That extra effort gets him 7, maybe 8. Yeah, they're going to give him 8. Yeah, and that will move the chains.
Yeah, Coach Munford was right when he said Corey is very swift, very fast, and we got to figure out a way to stay in our lanes to not let him out. In that case, we let him out, and was able to rush for that first down.
Fields averaging 7.4 per run coming in, 104 on the ground in his first 2 games. He's also run for a score. He has Flowers to his left. He'll give it to Flowers, stops, cuts, trying to bounce it to the edge, gets a block from Vereen before he's pushed out of bounds by Cyrus Dumas. Good patience shown by Flowers on the carry.
Yeah, lots of patience because there was zone blocking to the right. There was nothing happening to the right, and we saw a lot of Aggie defenders kind of moving that way, almost over pursuing, but leaving the backside wide open, and that's where he took it. Now, Cyrus did a great job of staying back because that's his job, to stay back there and don't let him run back to him. Throwbacks and reverses and anything breaking back to him.
Bulldogs have run for 63 today as a team. They will run it again, and Flowers is stopped in his tracks. 26 is tackled by 26 as Donovan King screams up from his DN position and makes the tackle for loss.
Yeah, Donovan King was just shot out of a cannon there. There was nothing happening. He couldn't even move once he got the ball. He just had to sit down. Donovan King did a great job.
Loss of 3 for the Bulldogs. Benson back in at running back. Once again, they're without grad student Alex James, who had 14 carries in the first 2 games. We've seen a little bit of Dante Anthony. We have not seen Tykees Walker, who had 5 carries in the first 2 games. Pass is caught by Rakeem White, who's been dangerous in the return game so far this season. He makes his first collegiate catch.
A quick throw, so we weren't able to get to the quarterback, Corey, but you know, as they came out, as White was on his route, he tried to get bumped, but we didn't bump him enough, and he just ran a fantastic route with a great throw and a great catch to move the ball down the field.
27-yard connection. Fields has Benson with him. He'll use him. Good tackle there in the linebacker unit made by Trevor Brohard. Only 2 on the run for Benson.
There's
Second down
Trevor
coming
Brohard.
up, 8 yards to go for the Bulldogs.
Let's see if Trevor Brohard can put a little pressure in there, because that area in the middle there is really where they've been picking on just a bit. He's a great athlete, and see if he can't turn something on here.
Fields pulls it. He tosses to his tight end, Washington, who had a big grab earlier. And he's ankle tackled by Josh Ferguson after he picks up 3. So it will be 3rd down and mid for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, so I think South Carolina State was thinking, well, coach is coming with, the Aggies are coming with a blitz or something, stunts. And when you do that, you want to dump the ball in behind them. Although we didn't do it that time, we sat back. Linebackers were ready for that, and so they came up. So good play there by the Aggie linebackers.
Bulldogs 1 for 1 in the red zone today. The Aggies a perfect 4 for 4, and that had been their struggle. The Aggies were 2 for 10 in red zone touchdown opportunities in the first 3 games. Bulldogs trying to edge a little closer here. Flag is thrown and the play is blown dead.
False start. Offense, number 26. 5-yard penalty. Makes 3rd down.
That's on the running back, Flowers. You don't see that very often, Danny.
Yeah, maybe he wanted to just sneak out a little bit quicker, or he saw a blitz or something that we're going to work with up front, wanted to get there to get protection. That's one that hurts when you come down this far and you end up jumping off sides and cost you 5 yards when you're really moving the ball quite well.
And field goals do not help right now for the Bulldogs. That's their 4th penalty of the night. 4 penalties for 40 yards. They need the 12. Fields with plenty of time, pointing towards his teammates. Gets away from Ojo, pushed out of bounds by Bo. Brohard was also right there to push him away. You know, so short of the first down, he only gets 2.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Adam. Chris Ojo is a very talented linebacker, and so when he gets in open field, first of all, the hardest thing to do is tackle someone in open field. He was there. He almost made the tackle, but that kind of shows the athletic ability of Corey Fields, because he was able to kind of scoot around him to try to keep that ball alive. But it's a great job by Chris Ojo to get out there and just stay on them.
Bulldogs will go for it again. They converted on 4th down in quarter 2. It was a 37-yard touchdown catch by Bailey on 4th and 5 in quarter 2. They need the 12, 9 yards to go. Fields throws, caught by Flowers. Ojo with the tackle initially, and then squirting loose is Flowers, and he gets the first down, Danny.
That's the thing that in films where the coaches will clearly point out and the players see it is like you have them, you did the hardest thing, and you got to finish your tackle. You got to make the tackle. But it's tough when you're coming screaming around there and they're squealing around and squirming and trying to get the extra yardage. But we had them pinned. We had the right defense. We just couldn't finish.
Bulldogs needed the 12. They get down to the 9-yard line. Hand off to Flowers, straight up the gut, and he's pounded immediately. Brohard and Ferguson right there for the Aggie linebacker core.
Yeah, linebacker core's really getting worked out here in this third quarter, but that was a great stop by them right there to converge together and give them not much yardage with that.
Gain of 3, 2nd and goal from the 6. Aggies made some big stops last week. They stopped the Lobos 3 times on 4th down. Struggling defensively on 4th down here tonight. Vereen in motion to the near side. He's defended by McCullough. Fields fakes the toss. Has a man. Fires to the end zone wide open. Hezekiah Massey, the freshman from Clover, South Carolina. His first collegiate touchdown catch.
Well, had pressure on him, but Corey ran out of the pressure and kept the ball alive with his feet and have someone in the back of the end zone, and it's hard to just stay back there and cover someone when Corey has as much time as he had. He made a great pass there.
Roberts missed an extra point earlier. Special teams have been interesting for both squads today. And the point after is good. So the Bulldogs score for the first time in half number 2. They trail though by 23 tonight from Aggie Memorial. Aggies playing just their 2nd home game since November 23rd, 2019. They've already used 3 quarterbacks this season, and the 3rd guy has played the entire game so far, Dino Maldonado, who we will see once again in moments. He's been darn near perfect, 19 of 22 for 302 with 3 touchdowns and no interceptions, making his first FBS starts after transferring in from Ventura Junior College. There's the Aggie basketball team in the stands. Jabari Rice, Mike Peak, Will McNair, a few others, a lot of newcomers. Basketball season, Danny, believe it or not, is right around the corner.
Yeah, I'm ready. Bring it on. I know Coach Jan's got some great teams, and so I just love our basketball.
Aggie football is home again next weekend. They're going to welcome in Hawaii. The Rainbow Warriors come in after they play later tonight. Of course, much different time zone in Hawaii, but they're kicking off at 12:30 a.m. on Sunday against the defending Mountain West champ San Jose State. And then Hawaii will come in, and on paper, Danny, it's a very winnable game next Saturday.
It is, and we'll see what their game looks like tonight. And but yes, it is. But first, they have to finish what they have here. You know, in that last defensive stand, they had 12 plays. It was 75. They went 75 yards in 7 minutes to score, and so you got to tighten up that defense just a little bit more to try to really get to Corey and not let him have so much time.
Let's see if Dyson Roberts will kick to Jawan Price, who was really dangerous into Bulldog territory earlier, and they will not. Isaiah Garcia Castaneda, though, will have a return. Makes a tackle or miss. Bulldoze is up to the 30. Garcia Castaneda returning kicks. For the last couple of weeks, we knew Jawan Price would be back there, but the Aggies have tried out a few different guys.
Timeout on the field.
Hey, both big talents, big break play talent.
We'll take a break. Dino Maldonado back to work when we come back.
When I got hired for this job, I started researching this team. The name Eli Johnson came up a lot. Clearly an anchor on this Aggies team, a graduate transfer from Ole Miss, decided to opt out in 2020 after both of his parents contracted COVID-19. His dad, David Johnson, a sports journalist, actually used to cover Eli at Ole Miss, was hospitalized and put on life support for 21 days. Eli said statistically he had a 0% chance of survival, but he beat the odds, and now he gets to watch his son play another year of football, which Eli told me means so much to him. Guys, thanks. Back to you.
Thank you, Megan. All sideline reports are brought to you by Memorial Medical Center, and I'll tell you what, he wants to be a coach one day, and he certainly talks, acts, everything he does, it screams coach when you hear Eli Johnson during those press conferences every single week, Danny.
Yeah, and so he's got a tough job up front there, right? So he has to direct the linemen on who's blocking where and what kind of coverage he sees up there. And you're right, he speaks great. He's very articulate. He's a coach player at this level. He's doing a great job, and he's funny. And I just enjoy watching him speak and talk about all the different things that's happened to him since he's come to New Mexico State. So it's a joy to have him here.
And he's loved his experience so far. He came here because he wanted to see a different culture. He said he had offers from pretty much everybody in the group of 5 in the Southeast, but he wanted to come somewhere where he had never been, see a different culture, and he loves it here in the Southwest. This is Omari Samuels running the football for the Aggies.
So Coach still trying to grind it out, trying to stay with that running game, trying to get those big hosses up front to earn their keep, Eli and team. And they're doing a good job here, but puts them in a position where they're going to have to start looking at 3rd and not long, but a decent amount to try to figure out what are we going to do, go back to the run or throw.
Aggies 6 for 8 on 3rd down tonight. Maldonado, heavy pressure. Heaviest it's been all day, and he is smothered back near the 20. It was met right away. Shaheem Haltiwanger, the redshirt sophomore from Lexington, South Carolina.
You know, nothing he could do there. Dino was covered all the way. He just came barreling in. We had protection back here at the running back, tried to pick him up, but it was late, and it was too much for Dino, and he went down with his first sack of the game. But more importantly, he's just hang on to the football, and we'll fight another day, and he can talk it out with Coach and figure out what he saw and what was coming.
And now we'll see Josh Carlson punt for the first time all day. He was really good last week in Albuquerque. Flipped field position numerous times. He's having a great year. Fair catch is called for and caught by Juwan Moody. 45-yard boot for Carlson. I love Josh Carlson, but I'm okay not saying his name too much. And when you score 43, you don't have to punt the football much, and that's been the case tonight.
It has, and so now it's coming down back to the defense and trying to see if Coach Sukup and the rest of that group there, see Coach Sukup in the middle there. What a great guy. Aggie himself came in the area, brought up in the area, so let's see if he can't dial up some good defense that puts a stand together.
Corey Fields, very quiet, 212 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, swings it out to Flowers, the running back, breaks a tackle again. And he's been very involved both in the running game and in the passing game today.
Yeah, Corey's getting rid of that ball quite quickly because I know Coach is trying to put pressure on him. And so one of the things to contain the quarterback is that you go get him. You don't sit back and let him run around. And I think Coach Faziani is trying to do that. And from South Carolina State, they want to dump the ball quickly behind rushing linebackers and see what they can gain. And that was a decent job right there.
That's 4 catches now for 28 yards today for Flowers out of the backfield, and that is picked off. Welcome to the Aggies, Cyrus Dumas, his first game, his first pick.
What a great job, Adam. Cyrus sat back there. He took his drop step, and he looks through the receiver back to the quarterback. He sees the quarterback peek his eyes up and goes to release the ball. As soon as he releases the ball, Cyrus broke on the ball as fast as he could. What a great jump. And he was right there that jumped in front of it. Great confidence. Nice pick. Welcome. Yeah, welcome. Hi, Mom is right. Good job.
Cyrus Dumas from Columbus, Mississippi, had an outstanding fall camp. Ruled ineligible by the NCAA for the first 3 games. Eligible starting tonight. And quite frankly, Danny, he was the best corner in camp. And he's picking up right where he left off here in game action. Maldonado gets it out quickly to Juwan Price, trying to stiff arm Jalen Barr. He's up to the 41-yard line. Check that, the 39-yard line as he picks up 2.
Yeah, that's a tough one. So they're not going to give Dino any time, and I wouldn't give him any time. So you're going to put the pressure on him, and that's what UNM did, and that's where they affected him so much in the second half. They came to get him. Now, Dino's job is to find where the pressure's coming from and throw it back into it over top, and that's what he did on the last play.
Give is to Price, nowhere to go. Trying to push the pile. Play is still alive, and they'll give him a yard or two more. That's a lot of strength shown by the 200-pound redshirt freshman from Peoria, Arizona.
Hey, they were ready for that. They saw that coming all day long, and so they were, had linebackers fill that hole, not much doing there. That puts us in a 3rd and long position right now. You know, with blitzing linebackers off the edge, in the first half, we saw Dino do a lot of bootleg, like naked bootleg, where he's out in front or even has one guy pulling. And let's see what coach can call up here. And I think he's going to let the clock run down in this quarter.
Yeah, the Aggies will let it run out for the 3rd quarter. They led at halftime 36-13.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter.
Both teams score 7 in quarter 3. Through 3, Aggies ahead by 23. Aggies ahead 43-20. 9 different players have caught a pass today from Dino Maldonado. There's the wide receivers coach, Corey Martin, in the back. And Danny, you spoke to him earlier this week.
I did. I really enjoyed talking to Corey. He's an upbeat guy and someone I'm sure that everyone likes to play for. And I was just telling him, hey, coach, you know, against UNM, I was just yelling at the TV. It seems like we had a few drops. You know, he was honest and said, look, we had 4 drops. We can't let that happen. And they haven't had any drops. He said, Jared is playing very well, Jared Wyatt. He caught a one-handed pass, but he said he dropped one. And it was a tough one, but he expected him to catch it. So he's a great guy, and he's doing a great job with that bunch there. I do have to say one other thing. He's had a second boy right before UTEP.
Yeah.
And he said, oh, it's a lot of sleep-deprived time right now, but he's doing a great job with that group.
3rd and 7. Catch made by Omari Samuels, and he can't get enough after the catch to get the first down. So now this is an interesting position for the Aggies.
It's that tweener spot, right? It's like, well, not quite. Can't get there with a field goal, but you know, do we want to punt it on a real short field? So I think coach is going to keep the group in there and go for it.
The Aggies have gambled a bit this year, 2 for 6 on 4th down. They need the 31 on 4th and 6. Garcia Castaneda in motion. He's been the best receiver today. Maldonado has enough time. He throws it downfield. Wheel route incomplete. Intended for Juwan Price, who caught a really good wheel route in Albuquerque last week. That was almost an identical play.
That was almost identical. I thought he had it for a second or two there. It was a wheel route coming out of the backfield, and it puts him down the sidelines. And Dino just dropped the ball right in there. Lots of confidence to stay in the backfield and then just throw that thing where it's going to go over the defender right into his hands. I thought he had it too, Adam. Dadgummit.
So the Aggies turn it over on downs. They are now 2 for 7 on 4th down this year. I love the call, though. I certainly don't mind going for it there in that situation. It's a 54-yarder if you kick it. With the way the offense has played tonight, might as well go for it. Corey Fields back in. He's 18 for 30 today. The give is to his running back, Flowers, and Garrett Bishop makes the tackle, and then a flag flies in.
Yeah, Garrett Bishop, 6'3", 300-pounder. When he's coming in full speed, boy, he's a load for sure.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 96. That 15-yard penalty is enforced from the previous spot. An automatic. First down.
So Bishop made the tackle, and then he got a handful of the face mask in the process.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like you do something great, and then you accidentally get your hand in there too, and it just kind of negates everything. But he's really putting the pressure on there, so that's a great job up front there by Garrett.
Bishop, a promising freshman from Arvada, Colorado in the Denver area. Kendall Flowers is shifty, trying to cut up field, can't do so. He's been the busiest man for the Bulldogs in the backfield today. He only picks up 2 on the first down run.
So on these plays that are trying to bounce out around, one of the things I like to see is defensive pursuit to the ball. So pursuit to the ball, so that means you follow the ball no matter what. So the play's not done until the official blows the whistle, and you want to see lots of red hats at the ball, and they're doing a great job of that tonight.
Anthony motions to Fields left. Fields pulls it and throws, and it's caught. That's Will Vereen. Another grab for him. He had 4 for 96 against Clemson last week. He has 6 for 60+ in this game.
Yeah, that's a great pitch and catch right there. And Cyrus had coverage, and it looks like he kind of tripped or something because he just fell off just a little bit there when he was up tight on him, but it was a great job.
This is Anthony. Runs straight up through the seam. Only a couple running backs used today for the Bulldogs without Alex James due to injury. Anthony gets 6.
Looks like they're getting a good push on that offensive line there, and that created that opening, that gap where he could run into. So look for that defensive line to start shoring up and hold their gap.
Second down and 4 for South Carolina State. Anthony again dragged down from behind by Michael Bowe, but he gets 5. He only needed 4. First down run for Deontay Anthony, redshirt sophomore from Fountain Inn, South Carolina.
You know, Adam, I think the defensive line is getting lots of pursuit. It almost feels like they're going past the runner. So in that case, it looked like they over pursued, and the running back was able to run underneath him. But they are still working hard in that front line, in that defensive front.
Under 12 left here in the fourth quarter. Fields looks left, throws left, has a man, but he overthrew Will Vereen. Went over the top of the Aggie defense. He had Vereen open, but barely overthrew him.
So pressure coming in, so they're not going to let Corey sit back there free, unabated, without throwing the ball, and they dialed up a little pressure. Haven't really got to him. I think we've only got to him once tonight, and he's gotten rid of the ball, but you still want to be able to get there and affect the ball coming out.
Fields, swing pass. Anthony with the catch. And he's tripped up by Eric Marsh, who waggles his finger. He's done it all. He's caught a touchdown pass, and he makes a big tackle right there for a loss of 2.
So I see coaches starting to rotate some players in and out, which is a good thing, right? So you always want to be prepared, because especially with this COVID happening, you never know who's doing what to whom. Eric Marsh got a lot of time when Trevor was out, and they had to rotate some of the linebackers in and out of there. Had a great job right there in an open field tackle to make that tackle. And he was the one that caught that touchdown pass as well.
Third down and 12 for the 23 for the Bulldogs. The Aggies showing heavy pressure. Fields to the end zone, and it's well out of the reach of Vereen. But a flag did come in.
Offside. Defense, number 6. 5-yard penalty. Remains third down.
Yeah, Danny, I could see it down on the edge. Michael Bowe just trying to get to the quarterback a little too quick.
He saw that the play was moving to the opposite side of where he was rushing, and he jumped that thing quick, right? He's just a half a count too quick, because he was going to put the track shoes on and chase it down from the backside.
Bowe plays at that money position, a linebacker who plays on the D-line. It's been a very successful position during Frank Spaziani's tenure. Heavy pressure, pass to the end zone. What a catch. Will Vereen, a diving grab around 3 Crimson jerseys. What a play.
I'm not sure how he caught that ball, because there was a lot of Aggies standing around there, but that was an amazing throw and catch. Again, trying to bring pressure on there, which means you were back there in man coverage, but lots of guys around him. And he just was laid out for that ball. And it was a great pass by Corey. Great catch.
Player down right now for the Bulldogs, and that is running back Hendrell Flowers. We'll step aside. We're back to Aggie Memorial after this. The Aggies certainly won the first half, but here in half two, the Bulldogs at the moment have outscored the Aggies 13-7. Dyson Roberts missed one earlier. And he makes this one. So it's 43-27, and this game is not done yet, Danny.
Yeah, and there's a lot of time left too, and so I know that coach is rotating some players in and out, which is fine, but there's still 10:49 left in the game, and South Carolina State is not giving up, and so they're coming back, throwing everything. As you can see, that was a great pitch and catch right there. A lot of Aggies in the right position, but we just couldn't make the play. Offensively, we haven't got anything moving this half. Let's see if they can't put something together, Adam, because it just was just sputter, sputter, sputter. They need to figure out how to put a good, long, sustained drive together.
This is a South Carolina State program that has been very successful at the FCS level. 3-1 during a 4-game All-FCS spring season, 8-3 during their last fall season in 2019.
Hey,
making a long drive from Orangeburg, South Carolina.
That was a great shot right there for a great night of football. It almost looked fake as it was so big, but a great shot right there.
And I said drive, but of course the Bulldogs did fly here, but
yeah.
It's a long way. It's a long way from Orangeburg, South Carolina.
Right.
Here's the kickoff from Dyson Roberts, trying to avoid Juwan Price again. Caught by Isaiah Garcia Castaneda at a running lane initially. And he gets up past the 30. We'll mark him down at the 33-yard line.
That's a great return. I'm not sure which one I'd rather kick it to. They're both very talented return people that can do a lot of things. Isaiah Castaneda's got some speed. All right, so Price also has some speed, and he has some experience back there, but that's a great job setting him up here for this drive.
And because Price is so dangerous, that means Garcia Castaneda is going to get a lot of opportunities coming up. It is still Dino Maldonado at quarterback. He swings it out to Robert Downs III, a wide receiver who's banged out of bounds near the first down marker. Nothing really too tough today for Maldonado. He's just making completions and he's making accurate throws all over the field.
Yeah, and so those are important plays right there, because that's just a pitch and catch out there. And I think Isaiah Castaneda had a great initial block, which really makes that play. Without that block, that play is dead.
Second down and 1 for the Aggies. They go to Price, trying to reach for it, and he gets it. It's a yard, enough for a first down.
Well, Price certainly knew where he needed to be for that first down marker, and so he's in there fighting for every yard. You know, I can't say enough about the running backs and the job they did tonight. Coaches really put them to the task of running hard, and they have. Both running backs done a great job.
A darn near perfect day for Dino Maldonado. 23 of 27, now 24 of 28. He goes right back to downs. That is his team best 5th catch for 51 yards as he gains 3 on that catch and run.
You know, getting the ball in the hands of your receivers in open field, that's what really coach is looking at there. If you can get 3 or 4 yards, that's as good as running up the middle for 3 or 4 yards, but put the ball in his hands on the outside with a chance to break one.
Maldonado has really spread the ball around too. He's going to roll out right, airs it out downfield, incomplete, intended for Downs, and that was Jalen Evans there in coverage. 5 catches for Downs, 4 for Samuels, 3 for Garcia Castaneda, 3 for Price, and then 2 each for Wyatt, Whitford, Bodison, and Harity. And Marsh has the 1-yard touchdown catch.
So that's that bootleg that was so successful for him in the first half. They came back to it. Jalen Evans was on it, though. He saw that thing coming, and as soon as he bootlegged it, he pulled into position and waited for him to spy someone and almost pick that thing.
3rd and 7 for Dino Maldonado. The redshirt sophomore has plenty of time, and he overthrew his receiver. That was the running back, Juwan Price, and he had time, and he also had Price open.
You know, max protection on that last drive where you have 2 running backs that are staying back, protecting, making sure that he has as much as he has. Coach is not happy with him because he missed someone, especially that pass there that's right over top there. So you get max protection, and then when the running backs see that everyone's not coming, that one will release into the pattern, and that's where I think it was Amari was into the pattern and just couldn't get the ball to him.
Second punt here in this half for Carlson, who did not punt in half 1. The Aggie offense was that good in the first half. It's a good one. Fair catch is called for and grabbed by Juwan Moody. Josh Carlson, 44-yard boot. He flips field position again. Bulldogs football when you come back. $36 points for the Aggies in the first half, only 7 here in half 2, so a quieter half offensively. For more on the quarterback position for the Aggies going forward, we send it down to Megan McCormick.
Thanks, guys. You know, this quarterback conversation certainly may continue. Dino Maldonado making his case clear to be starter for next week, but Jonah Johnson and Weston Eget should be able to suit up as well. You know, if it comes down to Weston Eget and Dino Maldonado, they're buddies, they're friends. They work out in the offseason together with quarterback coach Danny Hernandez in the offseason, and you know, he told me they 100% root for each other. Of course, they're competitive. They want to be the guy and get the job, but they're definitely close. Back to you.
Thank you, Megan. All sideline reports are brought to you by Memorial Medical Center. Big tackle for loss there for Segura. Yeah, this will continue. Maldonado certainly playing extremely well, but we saw what Weston Eget could do in his brief time in the spring, Danny, and Jonah Johnson was the starter coming into the season, so the competition, I'm sure, is open if those guys are healthy at practice this week. Big tackle there for Chris Ojo.
Yeah, but defense could stand right now. So the quarterback conversation will continue. And Dino did make his case, and he's done quite well. Having multiple quarterbacks is one of those good and bad problems, right? So it's like, who do we get in? What do we do? Do we ride multiple quarterbacks? It makes it tough, but Dino is certainly holding his own and showing quite well tonight. Let's see if the defense can do their part now.
3rd and 10 for Corey Fields, the quarterback and the Bulldogs. Fields, redshirt sophomore from Hollywood, South Carolina. Bulldogs 5 for 11 on 3rd down. Fields throws, great coverage by Bowles. Seems like he defended Vereen well. Vereen still made the catch and then some. It seems like Bowles had him played well, Danny.
Bowles was right there on coverage. He turned around, put an arm up, and the ball went right past his arm, right into Vereen's arms. That was just a great pass. How many times have we said that here in this quarter? It's a great pass and a great catch.
Vereen now north of 100 yards receiving. He's having a great day after a great day against Clemson last Saturday. Straight rush up the middle, and Michael Bowe gets to Fields. Nobody guarded him, and Bowe went straight at the redshirt sophomore quarterback.
Michael Bowe and Donovan King were both coming in there. They pinched so hard and just nowhere that Corey could go with the ball at all. And so that was a great job. And it really helps from a defensive coverage standpoint. That is your best pass coverage right there. Sack the quarterback every time.
First sack tonight for the Aggies. First sack of the season for Michael Bowe Jr., redshirt senior from Plantation, Florida. Clock moves, just over 6 left here in the 4th quarter. Fields with time, and it's incomplete. He had his tight end, Yancey Washington, streaking across the middle, but he threw it over the top of him.
Yeah, so Coach Spaziani will bring the pressure. He brings the pressure both sides. Everyone's coming from, different directions, and gets in Corey's face, gets a sack, our first sack. And then the next time, now that you pinned him back a little bit farther, he pulls back a little into a zone and still getting a good defensive push, but In this case, we're falling back into zone saying, hey, you have a long way to go. We don't need to go get you and spend all of our bullets doing that.
Fields 23 for 38. The Aggies drop in coverage on 3rd and 22. Fields winds up and he overthrows Vereen. Well, now this is interesting time for the Bulldogs. You're down 16, Danny. You're running low on time, but you're in a horrible spot to go for it. So you have to punt it here with Dyson Roberts.
No doubt. So again, that was a 4-man rush up there, Adam, and we had our defensive line just absolutely bull rush those offensive linemen. Justin Segura was in his face. There was just no way he could get a good pass off, and he ended up throwing it deep. So that was really the defensive line that caused that.
Roberts kicking to Lawrence Dixon, who took over punt return duties last game for the Aggies. Calls for fair catch and handles at the 34. Aggie offense trying to get rolling again. They scored 36 in half one, only 7 in half two. They're back to the field after this. Here at Aggie Memorial Stadium, tonight's game is sponsored by Memorial Medical Center, the official healthcare partner of Aggie Athletics. Find them online at mmclc.org. Dino Maldonado warming up, getting ready to go back out there. Gets a high five from Weston Eget before he heads back out to the field. Great numbers today, Danny. 24 of 30, 321, 3 scores, no picks. We saw him, though, getting an earful from Doug Martin after the previous possession. Still has a ways to go, still has things to learn, but all in all, hard to complain about what Dino has done tonight.
And no doubt about it. I think he's done everything that coach could ask him to do.
He's been under pressure numerous times, and he's shown off his legs right here. Flag comes in near where he slid.
Holding. Offense, number 69, 10-yard penalty. Maine's first down.
That's that position on the Aggie offensive line. They're still trying to figure out Doro O'Mary, grad transfer from Houston Baptist. He started at right tackle. The first 2 games did not start last week. He's starting again this week, and they're still trying to figure out that right side, Danny.
It's tough, too, by the way, when you get a scrambling quarterback because you're trying to block a guy and you're not sure where the quarterback is, and so maybe he got a handful, but Dino is certainly not afraid to pull the ball down and run it. The pressure that they've dialed up this 3rd and 4th quarter has been a lot, and that's really affected the whole play call and play for the offense.
Maldonado rolls out left. He has to run, and then he throws. Has a man. Garcia Castaneda broken up in coverage. Jalen Evans has played a heck of a game.
You know, in addition to dialing up a little more pressure on Dino, I think the secondary has really tightened up. How many passes have we seen where it's been in the Aggies' arms and there's a defender that's got an arm in there and that pulls the ball out of there? So it was just great coverage right there. And Isaiah's a tough one to cover because he's fast.
We've seen Maldonado show the ability to throw the deep ball. He's been accurate on his deep throws. In fact, he had a 41-yard touchdown pass to Garcia Castaneda earlier.
Well, that's a tough one because then that puts him in a 3rd and a very long situation there. It's those penalties. You know, when they get that holding penalty, it puts you back 10 yards and you have to start all over again after making some progress. And so you start again and get an incomplete pass or something, and it leaves you 3rd and very long.
3rd and 20 for the Aggie offense. 4:40 left here in the 4th quarter. The Aggies lead 43-27. Maldonado tries a dump-off pass, and he throws it behind Juwan Price. This is a little worrisome, Danny, because the offense just hasn't been clicking here in this half. And the first half was great, but you want momentum into next Saturday. Yeah,
you certainly do. And although you started quite well, it's always, well, how did you finish? And there's always, by the way, coaches always find something. There's never a perfect game that anyone can play. And you're just hoping that you get the right reads done and you make a good pass. A couple times maybe got over a guy or two. It's tough. And but he's still playing a great game. But there's no momentum.
You would like to have a good taste in your mouth into the game against Hawaii next week. Carlson gets a friendly bounce. And it's touched there by the long snapper, Austin Reeves, a transfer from Virginia Tech who was hustling down the field. And the ball is spotted at the 30-yard line after a 56-yard bomb by Carlson. Hawaii is up next for the Aggies. That's next Saturday, 6 p.m. here at Aggie Memorial Stadium. That's the first of 2 games the Aggies will play this year against Hawaii. Hawaii not off to a good start to the season. They're going to play San Jose State in a couple hours in Hawaii. San Jose State, of course, the defending Mountain West Conference champs. Corey Fields and the Bulldogs trying to creep a little closer. That won't help, though. Torrin Union comes up from his cornerback position to tackle Will Vereen.
Torrin Union is having a great season so far, too, but he absolutely just came off that block. So there's a block on him that really makes that play. He sheds that block and just blows that play up before it goes anywhere.
First tackle for loss this year for Union. It's a loss of 4 for Vereen. Throwing situations now for Fields, and it's out of the reach of his intended receiver, Richard Bailey, redshirt junior from Hollywood, South Carolina. He was a high school teammate of Corey Fields at Baptist Hill High School in South Carolina.
I see coaches moving a lot of players in and out on the defensive side, which is really what you want. You want to have everyone prepared, but you still expect that they're going to do their job on this 3rd and long.
Bulldogs had a 3rd and 22 in the previous series, 3rd and 14 right here. Pressure comes from Bell. Lazarus Williams got a hand on Fields. He escapes. Here comes Eric Marsh. He gets away from Marsh, and then Williams takes him down from behind for his 2nd sack as an Aggie. And then a late flag comes in. And this one might be on Lazarus Williams.
Well, that's too bad after all
After
of that
play,
work. You get a
sportsmanlike conduct, taunting, New Mexico State, number 10. That 15-yard penalty is enforced from the end of the run. Automatic first down. It's number 10's first sportsmanlike conduct foul of the game.
That will not sit well with veteran D-line coach John Mumford.
Lazarus certainly had a lot of intensity on there, so he didn't give up on the play. He had to come from the backside, and so it's a great job, but it's just too bad that he got caught for that targeting.
So the drive will continue for the Bulldogs up to the 36. Fields throws right, he skips it, looking for Bailey again. Pass is incomplete. If you had to give this defense an overall grade tonight, Danny, what would you give them?
I think I would give them a B+, and so there are times, maybe a B. So there were times that they did some things that were fantastic, but then there are other times they just kind of fell apart and let them just run down the field and make some big plays, and so we got to clean those up. But certainly it was a very good night for the defense.
Heck of a throw there by Fields, completes the pass to Juwan Moody. Corey Fields will have success this year in the MEAC. He is shifty and he has a big arm, but he doesn't have to use it all the time. He can really run with the football as well.
And he's got great feet, and he really showed it tonight that if you don't keep him in containment, he can make things happen for sure.
Aggie defense trying to finish strong. Pass is bobbled and then caught. 2 straight catches for Moody, the redshirt sophomore from Conway, South Carolina, who did not have a catch in the first 2 games this year for the Bulldogs. All down to the 24. Fields whistles it far side, juggled and then hauled in by Rakeem White. And he's tackled there by 2 different Aggies. Early and also Eric Marsh. Taylor Milton had his helmet fly off, and he will have to take a play off for the Aggies defensively.
Yeah, so the Aggies are in this zone, so the zone is a little softer, so they're back just a bit, and I think South Carolina State is just taking whatever they give them. So if the defenders are back 5 yards, they'll take that 5 yards as a quick pass out.
Fields throws on 2nd down and 6 underneath to Flowers. That's a good sign for the Bulldogs. He's back in the game, and he bulldozes his way into the end zone. He was injured earlier in the half. Flowers returns, and he gets a receiving touchdown after a rushing touchdown earlier.
So those are those ones where you're going to have to, there's a day of reckoning coming in the film room with coaches, because it's not so much that they completed the underneath pass. He was open. We were in a deeper zone. That happens. But it's when he runs through as many defenders as he did that the coaches are going to really have a heyday with that, and you just can't let that happen. Someone has got to make that initial contact, and if anything else, you just have to hold on till help comes. Falling down, falling through a tackle, just can't get it done.
Bulldogs will go for 2. Fields throws, caught. That's Yancey Washington, and it's an 8-point game. We said not too long ago, Danny, this isn't done yet.
Yep.
And the Bulldogs have played much better here in half 2.
Yeah, certainly they have, and we talked about the fact that they can put points on the board. That's not the problem, and so they're putting points on the board. They're not going away. Even if we're rotating players in and out, that's not their concern. Their concern is to put points on the board, and they have. So now it's important that the Aggies take care of the football in this minute 35 and do something with it. See if they can't move the ball down there and get another score on the board.
Expect an onside kick right here?
Yeah, I think so. Well, let's see. You got minute 35. I think so. I think if not, then they're really going to be pushed with trying to use timeouts and others.
You can technically count this as a 1-possession game right now. Of course, they would need the 2-point conversion as well, but the Bulldogs have chipped away, and they have slid a little bit closer, 43-35. It was 36-13 Aggies at halftime, and here in half 2, the Bulldogs have outscored the Aggies 22-7.
New Mexico State will take the first short time of the half. 30 seconds.
And it looks like the Aggies will use a timeout. I just saw Doug Martin signal for it after it was announced by a referee, Christian Watson. The players are ready to go. I don't know if they're going to change personnel here and get the hands team in or what, but Doug Martin did not like what he saw leading up to this kickoff.
Yeah, I think if he didn't have the hands team in, and the hands team is basically a team of players that are out there that are your best receivers, that if in any way the ball touches your hands, that you can come up with it, whether you cover it or catch it. So those are the hands team. It's a tough group to be on, because the offensive guys are screaming down at great neck speed. So it's a tough play right there. But yeah, that's a good call by Coach Martin. If you don't have the right personnel on the field, yeah, use a timeout. That's the best time for it.
Dyson Roberts, the kicker for the Bulldogs. .95 seconds left. Onside kick try for the Bulldogs. It goes right to Robert Downs III, and he wisely slides down. No question, he's part of the hands team.
Yep.
Good play by Downs on special teams. He's all smiles, and the Aggies will try to run out a victory here. This is one of those situations too, Danny, where you have a quarterback who hasn't played a ton of football at the college level, and he's trying to finish off a game here in the final 90 seconds.
Right.
Need to be very, very careful. Juwan Price dives across midfield, and these are situations.
South Carolina State will take the first charge timeout of the half. 30 seconds.
Situations that you work on in practice and in camp, but your quarterback's the third stringer who wasn't getting those reps in fall camp leading up to the first game.
Yeah, and does it look like Juwan was kind of limping just a bit? Maybe someone just grabbed his ankles. I know they came in and swept his legs out together and pulled him in. So, yeah, this is where it is getting tough. Adam, it's 8-point game. There's still some timeouts they have. They could still potentially get the ball back, and you want to be able to keep it and run out the clock.
Two timeouts left for the Bulldogs and for the Aggies for that matter. Amari Samuels in the backfield with Maldonado. He's trying to win in his first FBS starts. Nothing doing there. Near midfield for Samuels. No gain on the play. 3rd down and 9.
South Carolina State will take their second charge timeout of the half. 30 seconds.
So 1 timeout left for the Bulldogs.
Please reset the game clock to 1:24. 1, 2, 4.
This is tough. This is a little closer than I was thinking it was going to be in the 4th quarter.
Thank you.
It was such a good first half for the Aggies offensively, and then here in this half, outside of the first possession, which was set up well by the DJ Nicola interception, outside of that, there hasn't been much offensively. And the defense had a good first quarter today, Danny, but they've allowed 35 points here in the last 3 quarters after pitching a shutout in quarter 1.
Yeah, ouch, that's tough.
Andre Bodison in motion. Right back to the ground, Samuels. And he's stuffed at the 46-yard line, so he gets 3. Timeout again.
South Carolina State will take their 3rd and final timeout of the half. 30 seconds.
So now the Aggies will have to punt, and the Bulldogs will have to potentially go the length of the field here with no timeouts and a little over a minute left. And this is where Josh Carlson really comes in to full control right here. This is why you have a punter like Josh Carlson. This is a big moment here for him, trying to pin the Bulldogs as deep as he can.
Yeah, you'll need that too right now, right? Because it's a minute 18. That's a lot of time.
Carlson had an outstanding pitching wedge, kind of a punt against the Lobos last week, pinned them inside the 5-yard line. Doug Martin would hope for something inside the 15 or inside the 10, I'm sure. Carlson, the former Division II All-American punter at Dixie State. He's been in the program since 2019. Big punt right here. A minute 18 left. And you can hear a pencil drop in the stadium as the punt is away. It's a good one,
wow.
And it is down inside the 5-yard line. Dylan Early downs it. Carlson does his job again. He downs him at the 3.
That's a great punt right there, pinning him deep inside.
Having a really good punter and a really good kicker, Danny, it's extremely underrated.
Yeah.
And you don't talk about it enough until you need them. And you needed Josh Carlson here, and he delivered in a big way. Ball is on the 3-yard line of the Bulldogs. So they need to go 97 yards with no timeouts in a minute 09. And Fields is standing in his own end zone. Throws it from his own end zone. Out route, that is caught. That's Richard Bailey once again, his 6th catch of the game. He only had 4 in the first 2 games.
Yeah, so the Aggies are playing this defense where they're gonna sit back just a bit, right? So you don't want anyone behind you. That's the biggest thing, is don't let anyone leak behind you, which means that you could leave this short pass up front. So this is the one they're gonna watch on.
Fields dings it across the middle, intercepted Nick Chacalone will slide, and that will seal the deal. Chacalone, his first pick as an Aggie, and the redshirt freshman from Venice, Florida, comes up with the biggest play of the game.
Well, it seems like he tapped that ball twice, right? The first time, and then the second time he pulled it away. Great coverage. He's right there in coverage. Great pass down there. What an opportune interception for Nick.
Perfect timing for the young man out of Florida. And the Aggies will finish the game, Danny, with 3 interceptions. Nicola Dumas and now Chacalone. And they win the turnover battle against a team that had been forcing turnovers and not committing many so far this season. There's a +3 turnover margin for the Bulldogs coming in. And you can talk all you want about the finish, and the Aggies certainly didn't finish well, but I think a win still tastes pretty darn good right now.
You take a win any way you can, and you look for the body of work that said, what did we do as a body of work? And so holistically, they did quite well, right? So the second half, not as what we thought, especially the offense not getting across there. We had 3 interceptions in the second half, and we couldn't put any points on the board. So from a total perspective, a win's a win. It's a good win. And so now, what can you do with it as you move into next week?
43-35, the final score. The Aggies improve to 1-3. The Bulldogs fall to 0-3. And this 2-week stretch for them against FBS opponents is finally done. They played at Clemson last week, and they're going to have an open week. While the Aggies will have Hawaii here at Aggie Memorial Stadium next Saturday.
So here's what you think, Adam. You go back and you say, look, we got the win, so you can celebrate for a while. Everyone should celebrate because it was a great win. But there are things to work on looking for Hawaii, and you have to figure out a way to build off this win going into Hawaii next week.
The Aggies collect their first win of the season, and Megan McCormick is standing by with Coach.
Coach, you faced so much adversity as a team these last 2 years. As a coach, as a team, it's your 53rd career win. I want to know how this win is different than any of those other 52 wins.
I'm just happy for these players because this has been a really special group. And you're right, everything they've been through, there's not many kids with the character to go through everything they've been through. So it's nice to see them get rewarded and have a win.
Coach, how do you handle the quarterback situation going forward?
Well, I mean, we got a lot of work to do. I mean, when they started blitzing us in the second half, you know, Dino didn't handle it very well, and that's lack of experience, and that's where Jonah would have made a big difference for us. So we got to get them healthy and, you know, see where we can go from there.
Congratulations, Coach, your first win of the season. Thank you so much. Back to you guys in the booth.
Thank you, Megan. Great job tonight. All sideline reports are brought to you by Memorial Medical Center. The Aggies win 43-35. The Nusenda Credit Union postgame show comes your way next.